Wanted NC State all year, never more apparent than it was last night in Tallahassee. Right? It's certain things. You go through a season every week. You're trying to fix it. You're trying new solutions. You're trying, you're having the meetings at the whiteboard with the entire staff saying, all right, who's got an idea? And then suddenly there's 3 games left and it's never been solved. How long have I been talking about NC State's rotation?
All season?
All season.
Actually, before the season?
That's actually true. We've been talking about it because it's inconsistent. And it's difficult for any college basketball player or actually, heck, any athlete to be successful when day in and day out you don't know what you're going to be asked to do. Right? If you're the guy that brings the ball up the court, or if you're that's the most basic of them. But hey, you're one of the shooters, right? If the other team packs it in, they try to protect the paint, we're coming to you to shoot the 3. You're one of our shooters, right? When we have low time on the shot clock and we have a sideline inbounds, we're running a play to get you a shot. You're one of the shooters. Then guess what? You come into a game ready to flamethrow, right? You come into a game ready to launch. But what if it's like 1 out of every 8 games you're going to be one of the shooters? 2 out of those 8 games, you're going to be on the bench for most of the game. 3 out of those 8 games, we're going to ask you to be a defensive stopper that doesn't see the ball on offense. There'll be 1 random game where you're going to be playing with 3 centers on the court. There'll be another random game where it's going to be 5 guards. Good luck catching a rhythm. And you may be listening saying, wait a second, that's no team has ever done that. That's definitely not what NC State has done. It's not wholly inaccurate. Mo Diarra played great last night. I've been a big fan of Mo Diarra all season. Mo Diarra had the 2nd most minutes last night. Where did that even come from? 34 minutes last night for a big portion of the season. That would have been 3 games worth of minutes for Mo Diarra. Jaden Taylor was the best scorer on the court for NC State last night. He scored 24 points. He played just 23 minutes. Right, the benefit of having this very fluid minutes kind of rotation, right, where DJ Burns one night can have 27 minutes. The next he could have 22. Last night he had 12, lowest of the season. Michael O'Connell can go a stretch where he plays 33-plus for 6 games straight. Then he can have below 20 like he had last night. Mo Diarra can have games where he has 10. Last night he has 34 minutes. The benefit of playing like that, and I don't think there are many, right, because it's messing with everyone's rhythm and rotation. But the benefit of that is when somebody's hot, you leave them in the game.
Ride that hot hand.
Jaden Taylor was hot. He had 24 points in 23 minutes. If someone is averaging more than a point per minute, you better play him 35. DJ Burns played just 12 minutes last night, didn't score at all. Now, at times I've advocated for DJ Burns to be less in the rotation because of his defense, but it's not fair really to anybody to suddenly go 12 minutes. That's not fair to everybody that spent this entire season trying to play alongside him. I was listening to the Pat Bev podcast, Patrick Beverly, and he's been traded mid-season to the Bucks, okay? Patrick Beverly, NBA guard, has played in a whole bunch of different cities, defensive stopper, known for trash talk. He gets traded to the Bucks, Dame Lillard, Giannis's team, right? And that's kind of, that's bringing up a problem that NC State has had to deal with. Guys going in and out of the lineup, guys, like a midseason trade is kind of the simulation of, Cam Woods being eligible in the middle of the year, or MJ Rice coming in and out, right? He was traded in and traded out, metaphorically. Do you know what the conversation that Pat Bev said he had with Dame Lillard? He said he went to Dame and he was like, hey, man, those 40-footers you shoot in crunch time, those 40-footers, those deep threes you want to shoot in the playoffs, shoot them now. He was like, if that's your game, shoot them now. He's like, not because you need to learn how to shoot a 40-footer, because I need to learn how to rebound a 40-footer. I need to learn where I should be on offense to give you an outlet if you don't. Like, you have to do what you do so I can get used to finding a way to be effective around what you do. And Dame was like, all right, cool. And Pat Bev went into, Kawhi and Paul George when they were on the Clippers. Would shoot 16 shots during the regular season. Then in the postseason, they'd take 26 shots. He's like, all these role players would get mad, and he would be like, no, you don't understand. Like, Kawhi and Paul George need to take 25 shots in the games that matter most, but he would have liked them to be shooting 25 shots in the regular season because then everybody else would be like, all right, this is how we play. This is how I can be effective when Kawhi's doing the things Kawhi needs to do. NC State spent a large part of their season trying to be effective alongside DJ Burns. How do I make my hay when there's an offensive tackle in the post? Right? How do I make my hay when Michael O'Connell is handling the ball because he was handling the ball for 34 minutes for a stretch, right? They're getting used to playing alongside him. Then you rip those guys from the rotation, you're going to get a game like last night. They actually shot the ball well. Right?
You score 83 points.
Almost 50% from three. Morcell, who's been down in his shooting this year for stretches, knocked him down. Obviously, Jaden Taylor knocked him down. DJ Horn, not his best shooting night, but 3 of 8 isn't bad from three. But the rotation and the defense did him in, and you can see why, right? Say you are completely used to having to cover in the pick and roll for DJ Burns, who isn't able, just foot speed, to get out there and hedge or to get out there and protect the rim. So you're doing all these little things to cover up for him. Then all of a sudden you have Diarra, and Diarra's going, guys, stop. Stay out there. Right? I'm good here. I'm a better defensive big. And now, even though it inherently should make the other jobs easier, it's just different and they're not used to it. Now they're doing something they haven't done, for long stretches or for 35 minutes in months. Speaking of that defense, which, like I said, did them in, here's Kevin Keats after the game.
Understanding the defensive scouting report. No middle drives, paint touch team, not a very good three-point shooting team. We held those guys to 5, which is right around their average, 15 points from there, and only 11 made free throws. We did a poor job of ball screen coverage and also giving up paint touches. When you look at the game, 46 points in the paint. When you score 83 points, you should be able to come out here with a win, and certainly we didn't do a good job. Our defense didn't travel, and that's the tough part about today. Our defense has been pretty good on the road thus far, and tonight we didn't do it.
That's not the first time this year you've heard the post-game story be, we didn't execute the scouting report. It's one thing to get beat by, a hot player or a team catching fire. It's another thing to know what they do best and let them do what they do best when your scouting report, your game plan was don't let them do what they do best. Maybe, and by the way, you never know, maybe the coaches didn't communicate the scouting report well. Maybe it wasn't emphasized. Maybe the players didn't execute. By the sound of Kevin Keats' voice, I think he was yelling at him quite. He was shouting some things, so maybe it was on the players this time.
Like you said, it's not the first time that we've heard that. Even recently, I think it was the Syracuse game.
It was when Bell went nuts from 3.
Yeah.
He had 8 threes in the first half, and then after the game, they're like, well, the scouting report said he's a shooter.
And Keats even said, I had to re-show him the scouting report at halftime.
And he had 0 points in the second half.
Yeah.
It's not the first time that, yeah, exactly. They're re-going over the scouting report halfway or sometimes 2/3 of the way through a game. Not going to win much. That rotation, that maybe lack of attention to detail, if it's scouting report stuff, you play a team like Florida State, it's going to be very, very tough to win. Better figure all that out by the ACC tournament if you're going to shock the world. Figure it out in a hurry. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan.
You know what I need a scouting report for? I need a scouting report for when I go to Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School on all the targets that they have, all 13 that they have, but they keep changing every single month, so the scouting report is always changing. Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School. Check them out online, deepriversportingclays.com. And the reason why I bring that up is because the course that they have there are 13 targets along the course, and it's always changing every single month. They change where the targets are coming from every single month. So it's a new challenge. It's different for you. So every time you go back out there, it's not the same thing over and over again. New challenge, new experience every time you go to Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School. Also, they obviously have the course on their beautiful 65-acre area, but they also have the target range. They have the shooting school itself. If you want one-on-one instruction, or maybe you want to get ready for a certain season, they have something for you at the shooting school as well. They even have archery set up as well if you're something that you're looking to get into. They even have archery, but also the experience that you have every time you go there is the reason why you want to keep going back. I know with weather like it is today, how it's feeling kind of warm outside, I was like, man, today'd be a great day to get out to Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School and to test myself out, to challenge myself on the course. Check them out online, deepriversportingclays.com, and when you swing on over there, let them know that Dennis sent you.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Will be back with Canes talk. They won last night against Minnesota, and they proved one of the biggest cliches that have a lot of truth behind it in hockey. Get pucks on net. Stick around.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and do you have a late-night craving for in-depth analysis on the Carolina Hurricanes and their latest game, their latest win, their pursuit of the Stanley Cup? Well, I can quench your thirst. I can feed that appetite on the Canes Corner podcast, the morning after edition, which drops the morning after every Hurricanes game. Get it wherever you get your podcast. Brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina.
At the North Carolina Education Lottery, we love to celebrate winners. So I hired a town crier to announce Pick 3, Pick 4, and Cash 5 winners.
Hear ye, hear ye.
But there are thousands of winners every day.
Oyez, oyez, oyez.
I may not have thought this through.
A proclamation of jubilant accord.
Who gave him a bell?
Daily draw games. What will you do with your win? Must be 18 to play. See Pick 3, Pick 4, and Cash 5 prize and odds charts at nclottery.com for details. Problem gambling helpline, 877-718-5543.
Everybody in your crew identifies as either Big Mac Burger, McNuggets, or McCrispy Sandwich. But you're the Filet-O-Fish Sandwich all day. That crispy fish, that savory tartar sauce, that melty cheese, that pillowy bun. Yeah, you get it. Every time.
Get your Filet-O-Fish, Spicy McCrispy, and McNuggets. Mix and match any two for $6 at McDonald's. Price and participation may vary. Single item or regular price cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
At Progressive, we love sports and saving you money, so we bundled them together.
2 seconds left on the clock, third field goal range, and it looks like he's going to go with a 5-iron. No, wait. The quarterback is skating back on the ice. He's talking with his caddy. They're pulling the goalie. He skates off the fairway as the kicker lines up his putt. It's a breakaway! They bundled their home and auto insurance with Progressive. Touchdown savings, birdie goal!
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Did you know one of the best investments you can make? It's in yourself. At My Computer Career, in just a few months, you could start your new career in the high-demand, recession-resistant field of information technology. Isn't it time you invest in you and start a career in networking, cybersecurity, AI, or upskill to boost your current IT career? So, get the ROI you deserve at My Computer Career. No experience necessary. Start now at mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Is this house a good price compared to others in the area? Are prices going up or down? If I don't make an offer right this very moment, will I miss my chance? These are just some of the questions a home buyer might ask. And these are the sorts of questions an agent who is a realtor can help answer. Because realtors have the expertise, data, and access to specialty training to help you navigate the process of buying a home. They provide support, guidance, and have your back every step of the way. That's what realtors do, because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
Mitchell Heating and Cooling. We do the job right every time.
Protect your heating and cooling system like my offensive line protects me. I'm Drake May, quarterback at UNC. Mitchell Heating and Cooling has been committed to your comfort for 50 years and counting. Call Mitchell Heating and Cooling today.
Contact us now at mitchellhvac.com or 919-556-5069. Train. It's hard to stop a train.
The best solutions every time.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Side of the net, Teravainen out in front, chance for Drew, the score! Drury threw it out in front, Nason crashed the net, and Carolina has taken a 3-2 lead.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9. The Fan, the Canes squeaked one out against Minnesota last night. It proved two different cliches 100% correct. One, get shots on goal, right? Get pucks on net. Two, keep your eye on the puck. Both completely true, as proven by the game winner from Stefan Nason. If you missed it, Stefan Nason pretty much caught one between the eyebrows and headbutted it into the goal and got the win.
Nice header.
Nice, yeah, exactly.
Nice header. Hit him right on his visor.
Yep.
Right on the visor.
So
right into the net.
Here's what I thought we'd do. I thought we'd go through the three goals. They won 3-2.
Mm-hmm.
You give up 2, solid performance by your defense, right? Just very Canes-like on defense. Kochetkov made, again, some impressive saves.
He was good last night.
You can see his confidence growing week by week by week. But I wanted to go through the 3 goals and just prove how last night, proved true the emphasis that we had put on getting more shots up, right? Getting more shots on goal, not being too precious with your possession, right? Not always wanting to make them one more pass, looking for the perfect shot. Sometimes if you're a forward, if you're a wing, if you're a center, and you're up there and you have a look at it, pull the trigger because good things will happen. First, Slavin puts in a shot, right? Now, you don't even have to be a forward. Slavin lets one rip, hits Martinook square. This was not a glancing show. This was not a ricochet. This was hits him square. Obviously not what he intended, but it was a shot attempt. Martinook takes a shot attempt, stumbles into it, cleans it up, kind of a weak backhand, goal. Good things happen when you cause chaos right in front of the goal you're trying to score on. And that was actually an unintentional cause chaos. But hey, we'll pretend I tried to do that.
It worked.
Good things happen when you just talk about the things that the team wants you to talk about, and sometimes you stumble into their little catchphrase, cause chaos. That goal doesn't happen without Slavin pulling the trigger on the shot from distance, right? If he would have been waiting around till he had the perfect angle, or if he would have been waiting around trying to move the puck, trying to set somebody up with the perfect pass, that goal doesn't happen. Second goal, there's a little less. This one is the least proving true of our theory. But Svech, maybe it's a lesson of run more possessions like the clock's winding down, right? Clock's winding down into the period. Svech gets set up, pulls the trigger on a shot, hits it a bit. It actually isn't even, on line to go in the goal, but he catches the skate of the goalie and it squeaks in for the goal. That is a definition of, maybe you should take that shot more often, right? Maybe you should be that aggressive as a unit on the attack more often, as if the clock were winding down, right? It's very easy to pull the trigger on a shot when it's like, you know what, I have to, right? There's only 6 seconds left. It's no different than basketball, right? I have 4 threes. They were all with the shot clock expiring. Yeah, well, you made 3 of them. Maybe you should take more. Right? It's have that mindset moving forward. And then there's the last one. Jack Drury finds himself near the front of the goal. I wouldn't say he has the best look in the world, but he tries to be perfect with the placement, as he should. hits the blocker, right? Nice save. Puck ricochets up. Stefan Nason's face is involved with the contact. And it goes in the net for the goal, which proves to be the game winner.
Mm-hmm.
You need to get shots on goal. Good things happen. I wouldn't say last night was their best offensive performance. I wouldn't say they had anything super special working. This was not a Space Jam Michael's Secret Stuff moment where they were all playing really, really well. But they scored 3 times. And it was a workmanlike 3 times, but they scored 3 times. And that's all they needed in that game. Right? There have been a couple games recently where, 1 goal, 2 goals, essentially no goals. Like, they just need to get shots on goal. And it started early. And by the way, we weren't the only one saying it. I know we did say it, but Rod Brindamore was saying it, right? Stop trying to always be in the highlight film and just go get shots on goal. Carolina, at the first media timeout, I loved this tweet from Walt Ruff because he was obviously tracking the same things we're tracking. Carolina had a 5-0 shot advantage at the first media timeout.
Yep.
Score was 0-0. I loved it, right? That's a stat where it's like, keep doing it, good things will happen, right? Just give it time, just like Novocaine always works. Keep shooting, and then obviously defense, keep doing what you're doing, right? Keep preventing shot opportunities, but that's never going to change. So keep firing away, good things will happen, and sure enough, that's exactly what happened. I saw, social media is a weird place, right? The other day, and this is what popped in, like the analogy that popped into my brain. The other day, I'm scrolling through Twitter looking for, whatever, Panther stuff, Kane stuff. It's what I do. And all of a sudden, and I don't know why the algorithms thought I would like this video, but it was a guy, and I'm sure some of you have gotten this one also because it's, had a bajillion trillion views. A guy cut down a tree from like 30 feet high. Like he cut the tree in half, like 30 feet high from the ground with a slingshot. He was just picking up rocks or pebbles or whatever he could find. Maybe he had pellets, I don't know. And he was firing the slingshot at the tree. And this tree was probably a foot around. And it was a chip, a chip, a chip. And he just kept firing at this tree. And eventually, the whole top of the tree fell off. He cut the tree in half with a slingshot. I want the Canes to think of the goal like that tree. Keep firing, right? A chip, a chip, a chip. It may feel like you're not making any progress. You may have a 5-0 shot advantage and have a 0-0 game, and you're like, I don't know. I don't know if this tree is going to fall. With time, enough shots, enough firing away and firing away and firing away, eventually you're going to pop one off of Stefan Nason's face, and the tree's going to fall down. Maybe not that specific, but eventually it's going to ricochet off the blocker. It's just going to end up on the stick of Jarvis, or it's going to end up on the far side with Stahl flipping a backhand, and it's going to be enough. But the only way you get there is if you keep shooting and you keep shooting and you keep shooting, and you're not too precious and you're not waiting for the perfect shot. You have to keep firing. And I'm glad that they've figured this out kind of at this point in the schedule, right at this point in the season, because there's still plenty of time to fix it and get in that rhythm. Because there's going to be a postseason game where they're out shooting 12-1, but they're down 0-1. And you have to keep that same idea of, no, keep playing the way we're playing. Keep firing. We'll find the net eventually, and if not, we'll get lucky. Here's Rod Brindamore on those bounces going their way for the goals.
Well, we needed to get some of those. We haven't had any for forever, so that's that was nice to see. So, I mean, eventually they kind of even out supposedly. So I think we're still due a few more of those. So, but we'll take it.
It's like breaks going your way. You create your own breaks. Oh, we haven't had many of those going our way recently because you haven't been taking enough shots recently.
You make your luck.
You make your luck. Isn't it funny how the good teams are always lucky? If you shoot twice as often, you'll get twice as many breaks. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan.
Speaking of the Carolina Hurricanes, imagine rolling up to PNC Arena on your very own custom Harley-Davidson motorcycle. Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Law Tigers. The Law Tigers, Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson, Shiny Side Paint, your Carolina Hurricanes. They're all teaming up to give the ultimate Canes fan a custom Hurricanes 2023 Harley-Davidson Softail motorcycle. It's an absolutely gorgeous bike. I've seen it multiple times. I've sat on it a few times. I can't wait to possibly ride one myself, but I can't win this one, but you can if you just go to caniacsbike.com. Again, caniacsbike.com for your chance to win this custom painted beauty of a bike. Do it now. Enter today. It's going to be given away on April 5th, live on the ice at the game at PNC. And again, you just might win it. All you got to do, caniacsbike.com. Law Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. ACC basketball season. I mean, we're cooking now, right? We're right in the hot stove of the ACC basketball season, and that's why it's going to be a really, really fun cons and cons. What are we most confident in? What are we most concerned about when it comes to the 4 teams in the ACC from the state of North Carolina? Cons and cons next.
Now Spectrum is offering free VIP same-day installation. Get Spectrum Internet with speeds up to a gig and a 2-year price guarantee, plus a $100 Visa Rewards card. Don't miss this limited-time offer. Call 844-569-0429 by 6 p.m. and get free VIP installation as soon as tonight. Installation must be completed same day or next day to qualify for free install. Go to SpectrumFreeInstall.com for full details. Restrictions apply.
Willie Nelson and family.
On the road again.
Bob Dylan.
When you're lost in the rain in Juarez.
Robert Plant and Alison Krauss.
I know I can't let go.
And more. June 23rd, Coastal Credit Union Music Park, Raleigh, for the 2024 Outlaw Music Festival. Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at livenation.com. Go to outlawmusicfestival.com for more details. Part of the Mattress Warehouse Concert Series, produced by Live Nation.
If your home or business just isn't giving you the joy it once did, it's time for a refresh. Contact your local CertaPro painters and put the power of pro to work for you. That's CertaPro's power of doing the job right, on time and on budget. The power of proven experts with the skills to refresh, rejuvenate, and reinvigorate your home or business. Get your project started today at CertaPro.com. The power of pro.
Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated.
This is the time of year to enjoy life, isn't it? Everything's starting to bloom. Well, stop letting that pain in your joints keep you from doing what you want to do this spring. Call QC Kinetics now. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, and I'm talking about lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. Adam Gold here, and this is a fact. QC Kinetics is literally transforming lives. Their advanced treatments harness your own body's ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Pro athletes have been doing this for decades, but now this life-changing treatment is available for you. So you can walk and run and climb and play and do anything you want pain-free. No pain pills, no surgery, all natural solutions. Live your best life this spring and summer. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 919-400-5473. 919-400-5473. 4 locations: Cary, Clayton, Raleigh, and Wake Forest. QC Kinetics.
Canes fans, if you're looking for a place to catch Thursday night's game against Columbus, come join us at Carolina Ale House in Garner. Tim Donnelly here. Hang out with me from 7 to 9 as we celebrate another hockey night in Carolina. While you grab some wings and zingers, I'll be giving out 30 tickets for the March 14th Canes-Florida rematch. So come on out and let's cause chaos all night long. It's a Canes ticket stop Thursday night at Carolina Ale House in Garner. You do not want to miss it.
Hey, it's Victoria here to tell you BetMGM is coming soon to North Carolina. Sports fans in the Tar Heel State will soon be able to bet on their favorite teams, players, and matchups. With the king of sportsbooks, you'll have access to a betting app that was designed for game day. BetMGM will come stacked with live bets, same-game parlays, signature bets, exclusive player props, and so much more. It's the Vegas sports betting experience right at your fingertips. And with BetMGM, you'll earn MGM reward points for every single wager you place. Points that can be enjoyed on hotel stays, dining, and entertainment at MGM Resorts nationwide. How about special offers and daily promotions? You Bet the King of Sportsbooks is heading to North Carolina soon with its full lineup. Everything a sports fan could want all in one app. Get ready for BetMGM. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only, North Carolina only. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Lower mortgage rates are here, and smart homeowners are wiping out all their credit card debt with help from Loan Pronto. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Right now, Loan Pronto has a cash-out refinance rate of just 5.49%. That's a huge drop. So you can get refinanced now, get cash out of your home's equity to wipe out all those credit cards and other high-interest loans. You can save hundreds every month with lower payments. Or if you still have a mortgage rate in the threes, you can use Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit. Just get the cash out you need and leave your primary mortgage intact. Loan Pronto can get you $50, $75, $100, even $200,000 in just a matter of days. Bottom line, Loan Pronto's got several options to help you erase debt and take control of your finances. Call today and you can even skip your next 2 mortgage payments. Call Loan Pronto now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, 5.49%, has 6.39% APR, subject to lender approval.
But to play great defense, you need one thing above all else.
That starts with a W.
Confidence.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Life is too short to live with foot, knee, or back pain. Schedule an appointment for help at goodfeet.com. That's goodfeet.com. You heard the intro. It's time for Cons and Cons. What are you most confident in? What are you most concerned about? For each of the 4 teams from the state of North Carolina in the ACC. As always, hey, I've got good news and bad news. Which do you want first? You always take the bad news. So we'll start with Duke, because we go in the order of the podium as we had it on Monday. Dennis, you can bat lead off. What are you most concerned about when it comes to the Blue Devils?
My concern has been actually a bit of a long-standing one when it comes to Duke. Right now, what's their rotation going to be like now that they, again, don't have a whole lot of depth on their bench that they use? But it looks like Caleb Foster is not playing tonight. And we don't know the full extent of his injury, how long he might be out. But nonetheless, they were really just a 6-man rotation. It was Foster, McCain, Roach, Proctor, Filipowski, Mitchell. Occasionally you get some minutes from Stewart, Blakes, and Ryan Young. But otherwise, it's mostly those 6 guys, and that's it.
Mine's the same thing. Health in a short rotation.
Yeah.
I'm very, like, if you gave me Duke with those 6 guys, with Roach, McCain, Foster, Filipowski, Mitchell, and who did I skip? I skipped someone there.
McCain.
Did I not say McCain?
Maybe.
McCain. That's fine.
Or Proctor. One or the other. Yeah.
Proctor. That's why I hadn't said Proctor. That would have really ruined my day. If you gave me those 6 and said they were going to be healthy and they were going to make it all the way through the next 2 months, I would be wildly confident in Duke. The hard part is that is the risk of playing a 6-man rotation. And as of like a day and a half ago, not only were they not confident Caleb Foster would be playing, there wasn't a guarantee Kyle Filipowski would be playing. And then suddenly you'd have to start somebody who, as of a week ago wasn't even in the rotation, was playing, 10 minutes. Probably going to be Blake's, I would assume, kind of taking on that 6th-man role that Foster was playing. But if you told me they were going to go a little bigger and play Stewart, I'd be not wildly surprised. The fact is, you know what you're risking. I'll use this as an analogy. Did you see Brandon Beane, the GM of the Bills, talking at the Combine?
I did not. I did not see what he said. No.
He was asked what was his mindset when he traded up to draft Josh Allen, and he said, "Well,
oh yeah, I did see this."
He said, "Well, if it didn't work out, I wouldn't be here now anyway, and if it does, none of you would care how much I gave up to trade up for him."
Exactly.
And it was just kind of very much like I know what I'm getting into. When John Shire limited his rotation to 6, and it did feel like maybe handful of weeks ago, he made the conscious decision of I'm not going to play 8 guys. I'm going to play 6. It's very that way, right? Like, well, what did you think? Are you surprised? It's like, no, when you play 6 guys, you know what the risk is. The risk is 1 or 2 of them get hurt, and suddenly your rotation is all thrown off. So my concern is the same concern that Duke basketball has. It's not like a big secret. It's when you play not many, 1 injury hurts you a lot more than it would if you had a 9-man rotation. So health in a short rotation is my concern. What's your confidence?
I still think it's Jared McCain's confidence.
Do you know what I put?
You said Jared McCain.
I put Jared McCain's moxie.
Oh, okay. There you go. Just another word for it. Another word for it. Because let's be honest, the fact that you have a freshman who is unfazed, even if he misses a shot or if he has a quote-unquote down game offensively in terms of a scoring output, it does not faze him at all. And really, I mean, you even see pro athletes who are like 28, 29 years old that if they have a couple of bad games, like it affects them mentally going into the next one. This is a young guy, 18, 19 years old, that is not fazed by anything.
The reason why I threw moxie instead of confidence or, a few other words that you could have used that seem synonymous, I love that guy wants the ball in the moments where, like, you need a bucket. There were a couple times in the Wake Forest game when Hunter Salas was kind of heating up, and it felt like McCain was the one that was like, give me the ball, I'm going to end this run, right? This 5-0 run is not going to become a 7 or 8-0 run because I'm going to go hit a 3. And he did it, right? He knocked down big shots. And sports psychologists, more power to you, right? You can really dive into the brain of some of these athletes.
That was my master's degree.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can teach teach somebody to want the ball in the big moments.
Yeah.
I don't and to thrive in those moments. I think there's a lot of guys that want the ball in those big moments, and I'm going like, we appreciate the suggestion, but we're going to go to this other guy over here.
And here's the thing. You'd be shocked about how many high-end athletes don't want the ball in those situations.
And I look at McCain, great shooter, first of all, and I think that's a very, very tough bit of athleticism to judge, but not the biggest guy, not the fastest guy, not the most explosive guy. Has a couple dunks this year, but no one's, confusing him with Russell Westbrook or John Morant or any of the new age guards that are flying through the air. Yet something about it, he wants the ball and he makes the shot more often. I know they lost against Wake Forest, but not by way of, McCain not coming up big. I really like his moxie. Let's go to State. They were actually above Duke when we set the podium on Monday.
That's right.
They might be a little different next week. Concern. What's your concern for the Wolfpack?
I know we talked about it in the opening segment, and this has been a concern of ours for a while. Really, for me, it's what's your identity? Honestly, what's your identity as a basketball program right now?
At the beginning of the year, if you would have asked anyone, it would have been building around DJ Burns. They have this, because he played so well the second half of last year, and it seemed like that's what they were building towards. And then it just hasn't worked out, and they've since tried every other identity possible.
I'm thinking more of on another level above that. What's your program identity? Because when you watch Carolina that looks like Carolina basketball, right? Or that looks like Duke basketball. What is NC State basketball right now? What do you say? What do you look at it and say, that's NC State basketball?
Do you count transfers? Transfer you as an identity?
I mean, but that's such a new thing. And that's only in the last 3-4 years.
And it's a very fluid thing. It's like...
Exactly.
That's like saying my thing is I'm an iguana. Or not an iguana. What's the one that changes colors?
A chameleon?
Chameleon.
Yeah.
My thing is I'm a chameleon. It's like, oh, so you don't have a thing.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, that's like, you watch Kentucky, that's a Calipari coach team. Or for example, you watch the Carolina Hurricanes, that's Canes hockey. It's like
the best example of that being Virginia.
Yes, exactly. Virginia. You know exactly what you're getting.
Best example of it, yep.
What is NC State basketball? What is their identity as a program right now? So I know that's not just my concern right now, but that's like an overarching concern. I just don't know what state basketball is right now.
I'm going to say this probably every single time we talk about NC State basketball until next year. It's an inconsistent rotation. I understand hot hand, right? I understand that. I think more often than not, there needs to be a hierarchy. When they scrimmage in practice and they go starters wear, flip your practice jersey to red and twos flip your practice jersey to white, I think they all stop. And like Casey Morsell and DJ Horn start walking to the starters, and the rest are going, Coach, which one of us will go with the starters?
Yeah.
Like, could be any of us. Or that's not good. I do think you need a hierarchy so everybody's just aware. And that's not to say like if a bench player is catching fire, you're like, sorry, you got to go on the bench here. But it's more often than not your starters are going to play the minutes, or your starters plus your 6-man, whatever your rotation is. The inconsistency in their rotation has turned them into a pretzel a few times this year. What are you confident in?
I think it's probably the same person. Probably gonna say the same person as you are. It's DJ Horn with the basketball in his hands.
I have DJ Horn down. I even he though at the last 2 games has like when he was on that 6-game streak where he was scoring 25 plus every game. It was easy to say DJ Horn. It's a little more difficult now. Jaden Taylor and Casey Morsell probably should have shot more threes than they did against Florida State, and maybe that meant Horn took a few less. But I just think it's hard. He's been the engine, and I'm still confident in him. You kind of wish that the season would have gone differently for a senior that seems to go about things the right way and is really playing well. And I don't know if he'll get the recognition for it because of the tough season that his team's having. UNC, North Carolina Tar Heels. I'm gonna first of all set the stage here.
Okay.
In the office, there's a big UNC fan. I'm always fascinated by the questions that fans of certain teams ask me, right? Because you may be surprised to know this. As a sports radio host, people always want to come up and ask, talk about sports, right? And big UNC fan in the office sees me in the hallway, and he goes like, "Hey, my team, is it panic time yet?" That's an interesting question to ask if you are the number 1 team in the ACC who's clinched, I believe, not just a bye to Thursday, but a top 2 seed.
Probably.
It seems like that's a wild question to be like, "Hey, man, how bad is it?" And it's like, but that's what UNC is feeling after the last couple of weeks, handful of games. So there is concerns for UNC. Dennis, what are your concerns?
To me, it's some of the details I think have lacked over the last few games, and it's showing up in different spots. For example, we'll actually go to Monday's game against Miami. They struggled multiple times. I think it was 4, if not 5 times they turned the ball over just trying to make an entry pass into the post on Armando Bacot. I'm like, that's a small detail that people don't think about. Like, okay, you just throw the ball inside. Well, there's actually a process to actually get the ball inside the Bacon inside. It's the angle in which you are setting up your pass. It's the how you approach everything. There's so many different details that go into that. So it's small things along those lines that sometimes they lack.
That's actually one of the main concerns because I listen to all the podcasts, all the coaches and everything. College coaches, like if you want to get a college coach just ranting, bring up the skills learned in AAU basketball because AAU's become such a NBA style game, one-on-one, ISO.
Just play games.
I need my highlight film to look good. One of the things college coaches say is perimeter players don't know how to make a post entry anymore. Because in AAU, every guy that's 6'7" and above wants to be a guard. If you're 6'10", you want to be a guard, so you're not posting up. And perimeter players, they aren't looking to pass; they're looking to shoot. So nobody knows how to throw a post entry pass, and it feels like you get a 4 or 5 star guard who's got all the talent in the world. You get him in there for camp, and you're like, no, here's all right. You got to get the angle right. You can bounce pass. You can throw it to the opposite hand. You can try to go over the top if they're fronting. All of those things you just said, all of those details. College coaches lament that they don't know them anymore.
And I think it's also, part of that as well leads into sometimes situational awareness, and I think that's something that is actually. And I know you're a big fan of youth sports, and I've noticed this in youth sports a lot during my time coaching lacrosse, is that the lack of situational awareness from athletes nowadays, young athletes, is growing significantly, and it's actually becoming a problem, whether it's not knowing in football, like what to do in a situation of down and distance, or basketball when you're up this many, or whatever it is.
But give me the ball and watch what I do with it.
It's just, exactly, there's so much of that because none of those things are really being taught.
Yep.
That's a big concern. It's just go out and you just play games. You just play games. And it's like, all right, are you actually teaching? So so it's just, that's a larger conversation. But for me, sometimes it's some of the small details with UNC. Again, it's a nitpick thing, but you never know. If you're down 2 and you're trying to feed the ball into Baycott, you can't get a good entry pass inside. It's a turnover, and it's going back the other way.
What is your – actually, I haven't said my concern.
What's your concern?
My concern is close wins despite great individual performances. You got 18 from Cormac Ryan, 6 threes from not your lead guard, right? Like not your best scoring guard. And it was close at the end against UVA. You got 42 against RJ Davis, and it's close against Miami at the end. Those, if you get 6 threes from Cormac Ryan, that should be like a sweet. Got this.
Nailed it.
Especially in a low-scoring game. If you get 42 from R.J. Davis, it should be like, thank goodness he scored 42. We get to relax for the last 6 minutes. But they were close. Missed free throws, turnovers, fouls, letting the other team get into a rhythm. It's concerning when you're getting really good individual performances and the team isn't playing as well around them. Confidence in UNC. What do you got?
My confidence in them is they're actually the versatility of their lineup. And the reason why I say this is because I know I brought this up last week, and I think this is the reason why they were able to play a team like Virginia and win at Virginia's game. This is the reason why that despite not having the offensive production from guys in the paint like Baycott and Ingram, that they still were able to get the big-time scoring effort from R.J. Davis is because their lineup allows them to have fluidity in regarding to who they're playing. They can still, if they want to go big, they can put Withers and Washington alongside Baycott and have Ingram at the 3. If they want to go small, they can do that too. I think there are times that we saw both Tremble, Davis, and Cadeau on the floor the other day against Miami. They can go small if they want to. So I think that's something that the versatility of their lineup allows them to adapt to any of these games that we've seen, whether it's against Miami, Virginia, or a fast-paced game like we saw against Duke.
That's a really nice way of saying Harrison Ingram can play the 2 through the 4.
Basically.
And in a pinch, probably a small ball 5.
Yeah, he probably could, actually.
Mine is the big 3. Baycott, Davis, Ingram. There's kind of been 3 sections of the season, right? There's been the section where I think Ingram was on the low, the most important player on the team. There was the section where R.J. Davis caught fire and was the best player on the team. And then there was the section where Armando Baycott remembered who Armando Baycott was, woke up and was the best player on the team. It's nice to have 3 different guys that can kind of lead you in a big game. And it's not all pressure on any one player, right? It's not, well, this player has to play like an All-American or else they're going to lose. If like 2 of those 3 show up and play really, really well, I like their chances. So the big 3 is my confidence. Let's jump to Wake Forest. Wake Forest was number 1 on our podium this week. Again, I think they'll be in a different spot next week. What are you concerned about for Wake?
It's simple. Away from the Joel, road games in the ACC. They only have 2 of them. They're a better team than Notre Dame. They just simply are. You go and you lay an egg up there in South Bend. And it's a follow-up after you play Duke and you got such a big win, which the hangover after beating Duke is a real thing. But it's them on the road. Simple as that.
Consistency is my concern.
Yeah.
This is why weeks ago I quit Wake. I quit. I said I'm done with this. I quit Wake Forest. And I have to admit, there have been games where I go like, geez, do I regret quitting Wake? Do I regret for this? Was that a bad move? Because they make a thing like winning against Duke and looking like you deserve to win against Duke, looking like Duke played well and you just played better against Duke. And I'm like, man, I quit them a while ago. Was that premature? And then every single time, the next game, I'm like, no, that's why, right there, because they can't do it game in and game out. Their good is so darn good, but it never lasts. It is always They do great for 3 days and then 3 days. Their consistency is maybe the most concerning thing I have for any of the 4 teams, and it's so frustrating. This is me. This is how frustrated I am, and I'm already out. I'm not invested in them, right? I've for a long time I was driving the bandwagon for Wake because I looked at their starting 5 and I said I love these players in those roles. I love what they're being asked to do. From the moment Efton Reed became eligible, I was really excited. You can go back and find the podcast. You can find the YouTube clips of me saying all of this. And then a couple weeks ago, I was like, I'm out. I'm just out. I'm tired of getting my hopes up every time they play well, only to be shoved off the cliff the very next game. And I'm glad I did that, because I can't imagine how unbelievably frustrated I would be today if I hadn't quit them before the Duke game, because that Duke game would have made me go all the way to the ceiling, and then the Notre Dame game would have made me fall hard back to the floor, into the dungeon. What's your confidence in Wake Forest?
Wake Forest at home. They're undefeated, 15-0. It's simple as that. Simple as that. Wake Forest at home is just a completely different force.
Mine is their short-term good.
Yeah.
You're pointing at me. Why were you pointing
I was about
at
to
me?
say, 2 of their final 3 games are at home. They're at Virginia Tech this Saturday, then Tuesday next week, home against Georgia Tech, and then a big one, they are at home against Clemson on Saturday the 9th, just before the ACC tournament. A win over Clemson, which is a tournament team right now, would help boost them even further.
So they'll have a ton of momentum going into the postseason from playing at home, and everyone will think they're going to be good, and we'll be sitting here going, their consistency won't hold up. And like I said, I like Steve Forbes. I love a coach that is different and is a breath of fresh air, doesn't just give coach speak. I really enjoy Steve Forbes. He's always good for a clip, and you may be surprised. People in the media love the guys that are always good for a soundbite. I really like some of the players. I can't tell you how frustrating it is that I'm out on Wake Forest, but I am out. I am out. I am out. I am out. I said this, like Hunter Salas being introduced to maybe the casual countrywide college basketball fan with that big game against Duke. 2 of 11 for 7 points against Notre Dame. He was 11 of 13 for 29 points against Duke. That's wildly efficient, wildly good. You're not going to do that every game, but 2 for 11 for 7 points, where if you score 16, you probably win easily. When they're good, they are good, but the consistency is wildly frustrating. And the Duke hangover. We've now seen it twice. Carolina had kind of a similar deal where it was a massive win over Duke, and then starting the next game, just that was me doing like air out of the balloon, not another sound that may sound like that. The hangover is real. That was such an emotional victory. They probably felt validated with the win over Duke, and then that validation given right back for Notre Dame. Wildly frustrating. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, has big news. DraftKings Sportsbook, one of America's top-rated sportsbook apps. It'll be here in North Carolina, active and live on March 11th. It's getting closer and closer. It will not be long until you can bet same-game parlays, money lines, and props right here in North Carolina with DraftKings. One of the things that I really enjoy about it is the community aspect. Me and my buddies were sharing what we do and why we're doing it. And I mean, it's just another way for us all to talk about sports. Well, guess what? DraftKings has social betting groups where you can share your bets with friends in real time. If you're like my buddies, you like to rag on each other, right? Good and bad, right? Oh, you got lucky when you're right, and oh, you don't know what you're talking about when you're wrong. That's how we handle things. It's our love language. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and bet on all your favorite sports once we go live. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook, coming to North Carolina on March 11th. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply, subject to regulatory licensing requirements. See terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook/NC. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, football at 4, including Dave Canales being appropriately cold-blooded and ruthless at the NFL Combine. Stick around.
This is Chris Lee from WRL with a profile in Black history, presented by your locally owned and operated McDonald's. In Seattle, they call him Mr. Sonic. Raleigh's own Nate McMillan wrote his basketball chapters in multiples while playing on the court and coaching on the sidelines. 2 number 10 jerseys retired at NC State and with the Seattle Supersonics. 2-time second-team NBA All-Defensive Team. 2 gold medals as an Olympic assistant coach for Team USA. 4 times leading NBA teams as head coach, most recently the Atlanta Hawks in 2023.
Did you know one of the best investments you can make? It's in yourself. At My Computer Career, in just a few months, you could start your new career in the high-demand, recession-resistant field of information technology. Isn't it time you invest in you and start a career in networking, cybersecurity, AI, or upskill to boost your current IT career? So, get the ROI you deserve at My Computer Career. No experience necessary. Start now at mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Hey, it's me, your future you. You made bad credit card moves. Got no rewards to use. Ugh. Shoulda compared cards with the nerds and got the cash back you deserve. Now you have to stand to see your favorite band while your friends all got VIP wristbands. Don't make your future you hate you.
Compare and find top credit cards today with NerdWallet. NerdWallet. Finance smarter. It's bow time.
Finally, lunchtime. I'm starving.
What's that?
This is the Bojangler from Bojangles.
Ooh, with the same bold flavor as their chicken?
The same.
And fries.
The same.
Huh. Well, I've got a PB&J.
Yeah, that's not the same.
A crispy fish fillet dusted in Bo's famous seasoning. With cheese and tartar sauce on a fluffy bun, the Bojangler's back. Hook one while you can. It's bow time.
There's no time like Bojangler time. Time to stop whatever you're doing and head over to Bojangles to try the Bojangler Fish Fillet Sandwich. You heard right, the Bojangler Fish Fillet Sandwich. A perfectly seasoned, light, flaky, wild-caught Alaskan pollock fish fillet sandwich. For limited time at participating Bojangles. Make it a combo and add Bojangles seasoned fries and legendary iced tea. Hungry for Bojangles but in the mood for something different? Then it's Bojangler time.
If you've had enough of your windows keeping the house chilly, then fight the February cold with Window Nation. Dennis Cox, my friends at Window Nation. Right now, replace your windows and save big with 50% off on all window styles. Plus, 0 down, 0 interest, and no payments for 24 months. With proven quality and service, it's no wonder thousands have trusted Window Nation. Don't miss out. Call 866-90Nation or visit windownation.com to schedule your free in-home estimate.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, he just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Nos vamos a divertir mucho.
And that means we're going to have a lot of fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Welcoming you back to appointment day at the Martinez house. Raul Martinez looking stressed about scheduling a colon cancer screening. But he just pledged to get screened.
Stand Up to Cancer and Optum want to help you reduce your risk for cancer. Visit takeahealthystand.org.
This hour on the Triangle Sports Leader is brought to you by the Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
You can feel the madness!
Go to GotBrian.com. That's GotBrian.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the Weather Center. Windy conditions for us this afternoon. We have a WRAL weather alert day in effect For our eastern counties, where gusts could be up to 45 miles per hour from the Triangle area westward, around 35 miles per hour. During the evening, we'll see a line of heavy rain and wind that comes through. A warm afternoon for us, 76 degrees. Behind tonight's front, we drop to 38. And tomorrow, partly cloudy but chilly with highs in the mid-50s.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 23 points to 38,949.
Let's move the chains. Time for Football at 4.
Football at 4. You can set your watch by it here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly. Dave Canales, the new head coach of the Carolina Panthers, is a very dangerous man at this point in his tenure as the head coach of the Carolina Panthers, because he doesn't look at his players as friends. He doesn't look at his players as co-workers. He don't know those people. Dave Canales is appropriately a ruthless, cold-blooded businessman to start his term as the Panthers head coach. He was obviously spoke to the media yesterday, big press conference at the NFL Combine. Then there were media breakouts, little offshoots. And one of the things he said at the Combine should strike fear into the hearts of current Panthers players. But it's, for lack of a better term, necessary for the Panthers to get where they want to go. We have the audio for you. Here's Dave Canales yesterday at the Combine.
So I truly believe that we should take every position on our roster after every season, and we should say, can we get better here? Or do the people that we have, or the players that we have, can they improve more from where they were at the year before, and kind of measure, really take a good, honest look at that, position by position, and challenge it. Challenge the roster in the draft, challenge the roster in free agency, and I'm not afraid to say that. And that should always be true, so that we never get complacent, with the guys that we have, although we love them, although we're excited about them. And I'm still learning, the Carolina Panthers as I've been watching film. Now, I have the benefit of not having the emotional connection to a lot of these guys, so I can come in objectively and just say, that's good enough, that's not good enough. And I don't want to get into specifics about who I'm talking about in that regard, but that is my advantage right now. So I just come here with really an open mind for how to improve our roster, before I have all these relationships that I built.
Shout out to Vashti Hurd of Carolina Blitz for getting that audio. Great work there. And shout out to Dave Canales for putting everybody in check. Everybody on notice. He has the benefit of not having an emotional connection with the players. He's going full Junction Boys this offseason. He's going full, you're not a name to me, you're a number on the roster. And I will decide if you have value to us or not. I'm going to break you down to build you back up. He essentially said, my advantage this offseason is I don't care about these guys. Now, he didn't say it exactly like that, but kind of. My advantage is I get to treat them like a number, while other coaches think of their guys like people because they know them, right? He's appropriately cold-blooded. Nobody's job is safe, and I'll cut you because I don't know you. Objectively, we're all human, right? If you have to fire somebody and it's the first time you met them, it's going to stink, right? It's still going to be like, darn, I wish I didn't have to do this. But if you had to fire somebody who you went to battle with, if you had to fire somebody who worked down the hall from you and you knew their kids' names and you knew, where their house was and that they just put in a pool that they're still financing, and if you knew all that about them, it's going to be more difficult. Dave Canales is like, I don't know these guys. I don't know them. I don't know if they just put their kid in private school. I don't know. I'm not going to have that on my conscience. My advantage is I get to treat them like a number. This is the lesson from one of my favorite movies, Moneyball, right? When Jonah Hill's character is learning from Brad Pitt's character how to cut somebody, and he's like, it just needs to be, hey, listen, we appreciate what you've done. You're done. You're cut. Call this person. They're going to get you set up to get moved out.
Yeah, or we just traded you. Here you go.
And then Jonah Hill does the little mock one, and he's like, the player, what are you doing? I have kids. They just started a new school. And Jonah Hill's like, well, I wouldn't move them in during the school year. I'd wait till the summer.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Just cold-blooded. Dave Canales can be more cold-blooded here. And by the way, the roster that the Panthers assembled after their production last year doesn't deserve anything more than that. You were the worst team in the NFL last year. Should any of your jobs be precious? No. You were the worst team in the NFL, and it wasn't particularly close when you look at production. So guess what? Yeah, I'm going to treat you like an asset for a second here. If you're not going to help us, we're going to do a quick evaluation, see if we can get anything for you on the open market. And if not, thank you. We appreciate the work you put in or didn't put in. We don't know you that well. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Now, I'm not saying they're going to be mean about it. They're not actually going to say, don't let the door hit you on the way out. But it is, like, hey, what you did last year doesn't get you any credit this year. We are evaluating starting now, and I don't know you. Right? There's when a new college coach takes over, the seniors are still kind of sitting there like, we built this program on our backs, and the new coach is like, you didn't build anything that I saw.
Yeah.
You want to be the team leader, you got to start leading from right now. And that's what Canales is doing coming in.
I will say, as someone who's been a head coach at 2 different locations, college lacrosse coach, I've had those conversations, right, where I come in and you know what? And I've said this before. It's like, look, I'll watch the tape on all your games, and I can sit there and evaluate and see what you did well and what I think you're capable of doing. But I'm sorry, like if you think you're just coming in just because you did something in the past, I mean, he said you'll learn this about me in year 2, 3, 4. I don't care what you've done in the past. It's a new season. I'm starting new. As simple as that. Like, I'm starting new. Like, and I could sit there, and I've had those conversations with every single player that I've coached when I come in as a new program. And it's like, you know what? I see you do this. This is where I think you did well. This is where I think you didn't do well. This is where I think you need to improve. Here's what I think you're capable of doing. Let's figure out a way to get there. And I come in, it's like, I'm objective. As simple as that. Like, I'll figure out your work ethic real fast.
Yeah, exactly. There's no like, oh, coach doesn't like me. Coach doesn't know you.
I'm like, yeah, simple as that. I don't know you. I'm trying to figure you out.
Once a coach is there for a while, fun fact, coaches do have favorites, right? The guy that works hard, the guy that shows up on time, or the person who, I don't know, their backgrounds mesh. It's like any other human on the planet. Certain people you vibe with more than others. And you hope that doesn't affect any of their decision-making on who's best for the team, who's best for the roster. But they have favorites. The new coach that just showed up and hasn't spoken to you, doesn't know you, all he knows is what you've done on the field because he watched the film. He doesn't have favorites. He just has players he thinks were good on film, and he has players he thinks were bad on film. And do you know what was my first favorite part was he has the benefit of not having emotional connections, because that is just such a baller, like gangster phrase, right? I have the benefit of not having any emotional connection. My second favorite part is when he jumped ahead of it and said, and I'm not going to discuss which guys I'm talking about right now. Do you know why? Because that meant he was talking about guys, right? In his head, he knew which players he's already watched film on and been like, he can't help us. He's already making kind of decisions about how these guys have played. He hasn't met them. They haven't been there for a mini camp. They haven't been there for a workout. They haven't been there for a team meeting. He's just watching them play football and evaluating them on that. That is a benefit for a new coach. New coaches don't have many benefits, right? Lack of familiarity, having to implement a new system, heck, not knowing where their favorite restaurant is in town. Like, they have a lot of obstacles. There's not a routine, all those sorts of things. They got to get to know people. But one of the benefits is they don't know people. If you're not carrying your weight, they're not going to feel as bad asking you to leave. If you worked with somebody for 30 years and you were there for all the good times, you can mess up a few times and still stick around. You know what I mean? If you work for somebody for 30 days and you mess up a couple times, hey, man, I was hoping to, Hoping to have a longer run, but sorry, see ya. That's how it can be. What an appropriately ruthless thing for Dave Canales to say. And I hope Dan Morgan has his back, right? I hope.
Oh, yeah.
I hope Dave Canales walks in and goes, listen, man, I know he was a second-round pick 2 years ago, right? And I don't know who they're saying. I'm just saying, like, I know we gave him $6 million in the offseason. I know he's still got 2 years left. You know, before I knew any of that, when he was just number 57 on the roster, I didn't like him. I don't think he can help us. Get him out of here. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. What do you got for us, Dennis?
Hey, it's Dennis Cox, and I've teamed up with Underdog Fantasy to help you play like a champion. To be a champion, you must play like one. Here are some tips to help you stay safe while gaming. First of all, have a game plan. Create a budget that you can afford to lose and stick with it. But also, remember that gaming is about playing for fun and entertainment, not a way to just make money. If gaming is no longer fun, it's important to seek help when necessary. I've had a lot of fun playing Underdog Fantasy, whether it's, picking higher or lower on player stats and, assembling my team, things along those lines. Yeah, I have won some money, but it allows me to be more invested in the games I'm watching. I mean, I'm watching every single Carolina Hurricanes game already. I'm already rooting for them. I can also have a little bit more of a rooting interest with that. Hey, you know what? I want that guy to really score a goal today. But that's what Underdog Fantasy is. It's fun. Now you're ready to play like a champion. This message has been brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Must be 18 or over and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, will be back with one of our favorite segments, the biggest stories across the entire sports world, including right here in the Triangle. Hit it and quit it coming up.
You're always close to the Canes with 99.9 The Fan.
47 seconds left in overtime. Jarvis now his feet. Dropper, Natchez, he scores! Natchez in overtime, and the Canes win it 3-2!
Count on us to bring you every Canes game night and the latest Canes news from insider Adam Gold, your official home for the Carolina Hurricanes. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle sports leader.
Ever felt judged at the gym?
You don't know how to use the leg curl machine? Are you serious? This is your first day alive? No, it's okay. I love helping people during their first day on Earth.
At Planet Fitness, get energy without the judgment. Never intimidating. Always free fitness training and equipment for every workout. Join today for $0 enrollment, $10 a month. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
Hurry, deal ends February 29th.
See Home Club for details.
Why sell your car at WeBuyAnyCar.com? Because selling it yourself can be, well,
Okay, I'll give you half now. And? No, and just half.
What? Avoid the hassle. Come to We Buy Any Car instead. Get in, get out, and get paid at a fair price.
Yeah, I can't do half. I could probably bump it up to like 50%. Just go. Okay.
Get your free online valuation now at
WeBuyAnyCar.com. Hey homeowners, this is Keith Gregory with Home Exteriors by Baker Roofing. We have a lot of new neighbors moving to our area, and as a company that was founded in Raleigh in 1915, we would like to formally welcome you home. Our history of excellence is best summed up in our commitment. We shall do good work, at a profit if we can, at a loss if we must, but always good work. To learn more about our roofing, siding, window, door, and gutter services, visit bakerroofing.com.
Canes fans, if you're looking for a place to catch Thursday night's game against Columbus, come join us at Carolina Ale House in Garner. Tim Donnelly here. Hang out with me from 7 to 9 as we celebrate another hockey night in Carolina. While you grab some wings and zingers, I'll be giving out 30 tickets for the March 14th Canes-Florida rematch. So come on out and let's cause chaos all night long. It's a Canes ticket stop Thursday night at Carolina Ale House in Garner. You do not want to miss it.
Here at Total Wine & More, you'll find what you love and love what you find.
I really like this Cabernet, but what's something new?
You will love this one.
Wow! You're good.
Find what you love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Pickup and delivery available at TotalWine.com. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
Hey, Tim Donnelly here, and I want to tell you all about my friends over at Capital Financial Advisory Group, and that includes Coach Pete. Coach Pete has over 31 years in the financial arena and has never had a complaint. As somebody in the sports world that loves a good statistic, I can tell you 31 years and 0 complaints. It's a pretty good track record. His firm is a 100% independent and conflict-free fiduciary planning firm, Capital Financial Advisory Group, LLC. And for those of you that love shopping local and supporting local, it's located right here in the Triangle. Coach Pete and his team are fiduciaries, as you heard me mention. That means they are required to put your needs ahead of theirs. Why would you want it any other way when it comes to your retirement planning? Call today and mention me, Tim, or text Tim, T-I-M, to 600-700, and Coach will send you a copy of his book, 7 Baby Steps, for free. You'll also get a golden ticket. That's Coach Pete's special golden ticket, which has a $1,000 value and includes your very own complete and total retirement plan to put you in control of your financial situation. The number to call, here it is, 800-661-7383. That's 800-661-7383. Or you can go ahead and text Tim, T-I-M, to 600-700. You'll get the copy of his book. You'll get the retirement plan, all for free if you let him know we sent you. Coming up next, Hit It and Quit It here on The Drive. Coming up right now, Hit It and Quit It here on The Drive. Hit it and quit
fast, huh?
There you go.
There it is.
We hit it, we quit it, and we moved on to the next. This is fast paced. That's what we try to do here.
Keep it moving.
Keep it moving. Let's start with this. I'll get us started.
Okay.
The Combine's going on right now, NFL Combine. And there's so much else that happens at the Combine, okay? Sometimes I think people think it's just 40s and verts, just 40s and vertical jumps.
Well, I thought that's all it was.
There's obviously a ton of meetings going on, players meeting with teams, both informally and formally. There's a ton of, I don't want to say backdoor dealings, but when you get so many teams' personnel into Indianapolis for a week, they all meet at the same restaurants, they all stay out late, they all get to talking, and who knows, right? Maybe little things are hinted at that become trades down the line. But also, players get to start talking with the media. Peyton Wilson of NC State spoke to the media today, and the way I can describe Peyton Wilson's media availability is if you could guess, if you drew up exactly what a linebacker is, if you could script what a linebacker is, that would be Peyton Wilson today. I'm going to read a couple of the quotes. If I get my hands on you, you're coming to the ground. Don't let me get a piece of cloth. I mean, that's linebacker and a half, right? Mm-hmm. Talent and speed can only take you so far. Football IQ separates guys.
Not wrong.
That's coming from the guy that has all of the talent and speed.
Yeah, he's got that too.
I want to be the best in the world, he said when he was asked about his goals. He said his favorite player was Luke Kuechly. Linebacker as they come. Here's what I mean when I say linebacker. This might be the best one, so I have to read this one. Whoever I meet in that hole, wherever I meet you, I want to prove that I'm the bigger man. I'm the stronger man. And if you beat me, I'm coming back 100 times. You know how in movies sometimes they just want you to, a side character, they just want you to know, who he is immediately? Right? If they want you to know, hey, this guy's a tool, what do? They have him, call the waitress babe, as he says, keep him coming, toots, or something like that. Okay. You treat the server poorly right out the gate, and then everyone that's watching the movie is like, great, all right, we're supposed to hate that guy. Love it. If you needed to immediately have somebody come onto the screen in a sports movie and go, all right, that's a football guy linebacker that's going to be the quarterback of the defense, you'd have him walk on screen and just say something like, whoever I meet in that hole, wherever I meet you, I want to prove that I'm the bigger man, I'm the stronger man, and if you beat me, I'm coming back 100 times. You say that, and you're like, I know exactly who this guy is. He is going to take somebody's head off during an important climactic part of the movie in the championship game, and then he's going to give a rousing speech to the defense about not giving up another yard. I know exactly. It's Gary Bertier, right?
Gary Bertier.
Like I know who this
Remember
is.
the Titans.
That's what Peyton Wilson. That's the vibes I got during his media availability today.
I think I have a soundbite fitting of
Let's
Peyton
hear it.
Wilson.
I tend to think of myself as a one-man Wolfpack.
That's Peyton Wilson.
Oh, that's funny. I thought it was going to be actually Peyton Wilson. I was like, oh, it doesn't sound like him. No. That was Alan from The Hangover. But to be honest with you, kind of works. Peyton Wilson, a one-man Wolfpack. And one-man defense.
Yeah, pretty much.
15 tackles. There you go. Anything to add?
No, nothing.
Then let's quit it. Let's hit this next one.
All right, NC State football, speaking of Peyton Wilson, actually got onto the field, started their spring practice yesterday. And Grayson McCall, who the quarterback that they brought in via the transfer portal from Coastal Carolina, well, new place, new face. Well, what's the adjustment like been? Here's Grayson McCall yesterday talking about what his adjustment has been like to Raleigh.
It's just learning a new offense, obviously a new system, new terminology, and taking new coaching. But it's been awesome so far. The transition here was really smooth, being able to sit in those meetings and kind of get into the playbook a little bit before we got out there. So it's going to be a process, but I felt like today was smooth and just got to keep learning, keep working.
He brings something up. I think we talk all the time about how important it is for a team to make a bowl game. With the portal, I think it's going to become even more important because your guys that are coming in for the second semester can be in the meetings and watching practice for that lead up to the bowl game. He's been around for a while now. His first practice was yesterday. He's been around Raleigh for a decent amount of time now. And I think that does help with the transition, right? It's not brand new. He knows some of the guys. He's probably been throwing with some of the guys.
But here's something that actually he talked about as well when it comes to the reason why he actually came to NC State. And based off this comment, you'll actually notice that he's been paying attention to NC State for a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's really good. Obviously, a really close group. If you watch, the Wolfpack play over the past couple of years, you can tell that they really, we love each other here, and they really care for each other. So that's kind of been one of my main goals during this transition was to, get to know everybody, and wasn't able to be around the defense as much, throughout the workouts and things like that. So I think this is a really good time for me to, take the time to talk to those guys and kind of pick their brains on what they're thinking, stuff like that. So it's going great, and I'm looking forward to continuing to get to know all my teammates.
Culture, Tim.
He's a North Carolina guy.
He is.
He's from the state. He understands. This is one of those things where if they win a bunch next year, it's going to be all about culture. If they lose a bunch, it's gonna. I mean, winning makes culture seem so much better.
Oh yeah.
If he plays well, if he plays like he did at Porter Ridge High School in Indian Trail, North Carolina, then yeah, it'll be great. He'll be a leader. He'll go down in lore. If not, it'll be another cautionary tale about the transfer portal. It really all comes down to winning and losing.
And we talked about they're all in on this season.
All in.
Like they're all in. They have 32 new guys.
The players returning are all in.
32.
The players in the transfer are all in. The coaches are all in. The collectives are all in. The fans are all in. Who else could be all in? The media. It'd be good if
I don't want people to call us biased. It's funny. We've been called biased towards North Carolina today.
Honestly, sometimes I get confused by that. When I say the media, I'm for every team in the region being good.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
I want every team, like triangle versus triangle, to be 2 undefeated teams because that's just way more fun for us. So I am biased towards every team you care about.
Fair enough.
But yeah, there was a couple things I said the other day that I thought North Carolina basketball fans would get mad at me for. And then the comments were about me being a homer against North Carolina. Or sorry, for North Carolina.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, that landed differently. So, I just say what I believe, and I try to back it up with facts, and you can take it however you want.
Speaking of all the new guys that are coming in, Dave Dorn also talked about just getting so many of these new guys adjusted because he has 18 freshmen that are on campus right now, plus another, 14 transfers, 32 new guys. Here's Dave Dorn talking about just getting everyone adjusted.
You can tell there's a lot of guys that haven't practiced here, and so we got a lot of just little things on how we work that just, needs to get better. It's great seeing everybody out there. You can tell a lot of guys have worked hard in the off season. But when you have a lot of change on a roster, you got a lot of work to do. You know, the chemistry of the team, the timing of things, the communication. And so it's great to be back out there. I mean, it's telling, you know, when you see it. It's going to be a lot to coach off of. But I like the way the guys work. It's just right now, it's like, where are we going? This drill? Where's this drill? Where, you know, it's 32 guys that didn't know where the drills were going to be. You could tell, like, from period to period, and as we go, it's going to get much more efficient.
This is, I think, the definition of, if you're going to make a mistake, make it going 110% and they won't care.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't know where the next drill is, run somewhere, right? Run fast, ask, but hustle. And that only lasts a couple of days until you're in the rhythm, and then you get through it, and then you're one of the guys.
Do you remember your freshman year?
Oh, heck.
Going in, just how difficult it was? I remember, same thing for me for football, because I played football and lacrosse my freshman year in college. So when I got to lacrosse in the spring, everyone else had already practiced in the fall, so they already knew like where to go and what to do. So I get out there, I'm like, where are the line drills? Like, where are we warming up? What's going on over here?
We had a notoriously gruff but eventually beloved defensive coordinator. Went on to be the safeties coach with the Bucs, won a Super Bowl with them.
Okay.
He refused to call offensive players by their names until they earned the right. He would just call you by your position. And as the freshman, as the new guy, you would a lot of times be tasked with like basically being a pitching machine for the defense. When the defensive backs need to, work on interceptions, they're not going to send the starting quarterback over there to throw them. They're going to send the freshman. So I'd be over there, and he would just the first day I remember, quarterback. And I'm not looking. I'm like, that's not my name. You could be talking to anybody. And then I realized apparently he just calls you quarterback until you earn the right for him to call you by your name. And he looked at me, and apparently I wasn't throwing my interceptions bad enough. Don't even know what that means. He's going like, I need this to be a bad throw. And I'm going like, I don't even have a receiver I'm throwing to. How could I be inaccurate to nobody? There's nobody out there. Like I'm lost.
He can't pull over any further.
Yeah.
He's already pulled over.
Exactly. And I was, and he's looking at me going like, freshmen don't talk back to me. And I'm going like, I genuinely don't know what I'm not doing. And I remember thinking this is a very freshman moment of like, if you're going to make a mistake, make it 100% and just do what you think is best. And that would be my advice to every new player on any team ever. Better to make a mistake going full speed.
Speaking of quarterbacks, let's quit that and let's hit this.
Mel Kiper put out his latest mock draft.
Ah, yes. Got to love a good mock draft.
What is this? 2.0, 4.0, 7.0 out of 35.0?
I'm waiting for 2.1.
Yeah. It's remember those old AOL CDs you'd get?
Yes.
AOL 2.0, AOL 3.0, AOL.
Yes, I do.
Oh, gosh, I didn't realize 4.0 came out. My aim is going to be so much faster. Mel Kiper put out his latest mock draft, and get this, the quarterback shuffle is continuing. Drake May below Jaden Daniels. The top three going Caleb Williams at 1. At some point, Mel Kiper, I guarantee it, is going to move Caleb Williams off 1, and it's going to be right in the doldrums of the offseason when he needs clicks. But for right now, it's Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May. Drake May going 3rd to New England. Here's Mel Kiper explaining why he took Jaden Daniels, who had been below Drake May for years in every draft board, and put him ahead of Drake May.
It's because of the momentum, and the year he had was spectacular, and Drake didn't have that great year, and Drake had 3 games, Virginia, NC State, and Clemson, that were, as I say, head-scratchers. There were throws that you got to make. He didn't. He couldn't excuse those throws away, but Jaden comes in with momentum. He did everything perfectly. He dominated the Alabama Crimson Tide defense 2 years in a row. Nick Saban's defense had no answer for Jaden Daniels, so I think there's a lot to love about Jaden.
A lot to love about Jaden. Do you know what I think is funny? I think this is funny. He dominated the Alabama Crimson Tide defense. They lost 42-28. That's the reason why you put him over Drake May. He dominated the Alabama Crimson Tide defense. He had 2 touchdowns and 1 interception in a QBR below 100. Now, he ran for a boatload of yards, don't get me wrong, 163, but I don't know if that's as flawless as you were making it out to be. And he also had a guy named Malik Neighbors who was pretty good.
Yeah, there's that guy.
219 passing yards for Jaden Daniels, 171 to Malik Neighbors. Did Jaden Daniels dominate, or here's
put some respect on NC State's defense, by the way.
True, also true, very true. Here's what I'm here's my problem with all of this. Why now? The momentum. That's the reason you put Jaden Daniels over Drake May, and it didn't hit till mid-February. It's a weird time for the momentum to kick off. I've said this before. I'll say it again. I'll say it 10 times. It's got to be so frustrating to be a prospect at this point in the NFL draft season because there's nothing you can do, right? You're like, wait a second. When the games stopped being played, I was the second best player in the draft. Nothing has happened since then, and now I'm the third best player in the draft, and I don't have a game I can go out there and play to prove that I should be the number 1 or the number 2 player in the draft again. You're just changing things based on you. Frustrating. Let's quit that. Let's hit this.
By the way, I guess school's in session for the Carolina Panthers, and really for every NFL franchise. The NFL Players Association put out their report cards. So I think it was about 1,700 players in the NFL this season. Wow. Filled out for the second straight year, filled out anonymous surveys ranking different things such as facilities, whether it's weight room, locker room, the cafeteria, food, nutrition, the training staff, the actual nutritional staff, as well as head coach and owner.
Family support. They did some real detailed stuff.
Exactly. So it's kind of really kind of gives you a perspective of what NFL players think about their work environment. It's no different than, us as employees, and we get asked to fill out surveys of like, hey, what do you think of this from your workplace environment? It's a very similar thing. Carolina Panthers, their owner was given a D grade and was ranked 28th in the NFL, David Tepper. But to paint the full story here, there were actually a lot of things about the Panthers organization that the players really liked. They loved the training staff. They loved the strength and conditioning coach. They basically loved the people in the building. The facility grades were kind of like average, middle of the road, but nonetheless, the owner wasn't very highly looked upon.
I do think it's funny that so much of what the owner owns did well, and the owner did so poorly, right? It's the facilities were middle of the pack in most cases. The people hired, the dietitian, the strength coach, the people involved did very well, and then the owner did very poorly. And it's kind of like, how unlikable must David Tepper be, or how little confidence do they have that he'll keep things solid, that the worst thing by far that you're graded on is the owner, right? It's I was kind of trying to think of the analogy. It's like going, this food is unbelievably delicious. This chef is a jerk.
Yeah.
It's like, well, the chef's job is to put good food out. So right? If the dietitian is good, the strength coach is good, the family support is good, the whatever weight room is good, the coaches are middle of the pack, but kind of obviously in transition. If all of that is good, and then the owner is horrendous, it's kind of an interesting dichotomy there that I wasn't expecting from the Panthers.
So, like, for example, the training staff had an overall grade of an A-, which was actually the third highest rating out of all 32 teams in the NFL. But the training room itself, a C+ grade, 18th in the NFL. So it's like, hey, we got great training staff, but maybe the space or the amount of equipment, things like that, just maybe isn't up to par of what they want.
But 18th is like, that's middle of the pack.
Exactly, that's middle of the pack.
That's maybe exactly par, right?
Maybe
it's not
is,
exceptional,
yeah.
But the people in it are exceptional.
Like the strength coaches were given an A grade, their fourth highest grade overall in the NFL. Weight room, 15th, B grade. There you go, middle of the pack in terms of those. Dietitian, nutritionist, B+, sixth best in the NFL. The food/cafeteria, a B grade, 13th in the NFL.
So it's quite literally,
half.
the people are in the top 10. The facilities are in the top 20.
Yeah.
The owner is in the bottom 4.
Yes.
That's to me purely on the confidence of how much they think the good will stay good, and how little confidence they have that the good will stay good, and how little confidence they have that the bad will improve.
So something here as well. The treatment of families had a B grade, 7th rated overall. They provide a family room at the stadium. They provide daycare on game days. A few players would like their family members to be able to get pregame sideline passes or to be seated in better locations with other player families. So that's kind of some of the criticisms, I guess you can say. Apparently 90% of the players feel like the locker room is big enough, but also 83% of players feel like they have enough room in their individual lockers. So that's why they have a C+ grade for locker room.
Big enough room, not big enough lockers?
Yeah.
All right, we're getting a little nitpicky
or individual space.
We're getting a little nitpicky here. They're also, and this is something that is going to take a while for Tepper to outlive, players do not like that he put in artificial turf when they all wanted grass.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he needed something that was going to hold up to the Beyonce concerts. You know where he stands on all that, right? Anything else to add? Anything else interesting from the report card?
Only 71% of the players feel like they have a comfortable amount of personal space when in terms of team travel.
You win more
25th.
games, you get first-class tickets. That's how I'd look at it. We'll put you on a school bus. You win 2 games. I'm kidding. They're huge humans, and they're putting their body through a lot. They should probably get some more space.
Also, by the way, 97% of players feel their former head coach, Frank Wright, was efficient with their time.
Do I care about efficiency?
Which was 7th best overall. Well, I guess efficient with time in terms of, I guess, how
you got him out early.
Stuff.
You got him out early.
And also, players feel that Frank Reich was willing to listen to the locker room, 5th overall in terms of that.
I don't know if I want that either. I want a coach that's an authoritative presence. And I mean, I know you have to listen some, but also part of it is like, if you listen to the locker room, like, you're never going to have a hard practice. Coach, I don't think we should run today. Oh, that sounds great.
Well, I think it's just, if guys are approaching him, I think it's more or less that.
I'll listen. I'll think about it and then do whatever else I want.
All right, let's
quit that. Let's hit this. I'm excited for this one. I want to give, and Dennis, I know you feel the same way, which is why we threw it in here. I want to give Seth Jarvis some credit.
Yes.
It's so rare to have a player with that dynamic personality. Actually, just on Twitter, there's a hockey guy's TikTok of him playing floor hockey, and then every time he doesn't score, he answers a question such as, like, what is your celebrity crush? And
nice.
Like, that's Seth Jarvis has that personality where if anyone gets to choose which Kane they get to do something like that, they're going to choose Jarvis. He's 22 years old. He's a young forward. So he's, by all intents, you get a young guy that likes to score goals, and it's all about goal scoring. He has, of late especially, been making so many plays, winning plays, that aren't found in the stat sheet.
Yes.
And that needs to be celebrated as if it were a goal scoring, because you want him to continue doing that for the next 15 years for the Canes.
And that's the reason why we saw at the end of last night's game, he's on the ice. When the Canes are up 1 and there's 15 seconds left, he's out there because he's earned that trust from not only his teammates, but also from head coach Rob Brindamore that, hey, you know what? He's the youngest dude on the team, but we're going to put him out there. And sure enough, there's a loose puck in the defensive zone, and Seth Jarvis comes sliding in, knocks the puck away from a Minnesota player who's approaching or trying to reach the puck, knocks the puck out of the zone. It's things like that. Tying up guys in front of the net so they can't pick up a rebound, or things like it's just, or knocking a pass out of midair in a transition opportunity that completely negates it. You don't have stats for those kinds of things, but those are winning plays. And if you ask Rob Brindamore about it, he's like, yeah, those are the kind of plays that win us games.
I want to talk about the knocking the puck out of midair, off a tip, by the way. Like, just like that the percentage of making that play is so low, right? It's I don't want to say a little lucky, right? That your stick found puck on that particular play. But the thing is, he hustled his tail off to get there for what? A 5% chance of knocking that pass down?
Yeah.
But you have to, every single time, hustle your tail off and put in the energy just to have the chance to get a 5% knocking down of that pass. And that is the winning stuff, right? Mm-hmm. That is a good example, and it's contagious, and everyone will do it.
Rob Brindamore has said this, that they actually kind of have an internal competition with their team. So when the forwards are back-checking into the defensive zone, they have a competition. It's like, all right, they point out a film. Who's the first one back? Like, who's the first guy back? Like, it's a race back into the defensive zone.
Maybe Seth is just the most competitive individual on the planet, and he's just like, I'm going to dominate this, whatever the prize is. I'm going to get it. Because you can tell. The one a couple of games ago where he's flying back and he drops to a knee and gives up his body to block the shot. That one, it's those plays. I can only imagine how many times he's put the effort in to try to make those plays and not made it, right? We see the ones where he does make the play, but you have to do that 10 other times and not make it just to be in that position. You know what I mean? Like, you have to, it's deserving of celebration, which is why we're celebrating it. That's Hit It and Quit It here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan.
Speaking of the Carolina Hurricanes, Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Law Tigers. Imagine rolling up to PNC Arena sometime this spring, for example, maybe for a playoff game, rolling up to PNC on your very own custom Hurricanes Harley-Davidson motorcycle. The Law Tigers, Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson, Shiny Side Paint, and your Carolina Hurricanes, they're all teaming up to give the ultimate Canes fan a custom Hurricanes 2023 Harley-Davidson Softail motorcycle. It is an absolutely gorgeous bike. If you want to win it, just go to caniacsbike.com. Again, caniacsbike.com for your chance to win this custom-painted beauty of a motorcycle. It's going to be given away live on the ice on April 5th at the game at PNC Arena. Again, if you want to win it, it's caniacsbike.com. Also, make sure you stay listened in here. There are going to be some different dates where the at different Carolina Alehouse watch parties and other locations where the 3rd annual Caniacs bike will be on display. So make sure you stay tuned in here. Law Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Coming up next, I give you my 2 great white buffaloes, my 2 great white whales. The 2 players out there in the potential offseason availability of the NFL that I want the Panthers to target. Stick around.
Everybody in your crew identifies as either Big Mac Burger, McNuggets, or McCrispy Sandwich. But you're the Filet-O-Fish Sandwich all day. That crispy fish, that savory tartar sauce, that melty cheese, that pillowy bun. Yeah, you get it. Every time.
Get your Filet-O-Fish, Spicy McCrispy, and McNuggets. Mix and match any 2 for $6 at McDonald's. Price and participation may vary. Single item or regular price cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Jelly Roll, the Beautifully Broken Tour. Friday, September 20th, PNC Arena, Raleigh. With Warren Ziders and Alexandra Kay. Pre-sale for City Card members begins Monday at 10 a.m. through Thursday at 10 p.m. Before the general public on sale Friday, March 1st, 10 a.m. at livenation.com. For more, visit jellyroll615.com.
Direct Auto Insurance is for uncompromisers, like people who want to save up to 25%. Take Julie. When her old car insurance got too expensive, do you think she ditched her car for a pair of rollerblades? No, she found affordable coverage with Direct Auto. And you can too. Get a free quote at directauto.com or find a store near you. Direct Auto. Stop compromising. Keep driving. Savings vary. Terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Did you know one of the best investments you can make? It's in yourself. At My Computer Career, in just a few months, you could start your new career in the high-demand, recession-resistant field of information technology. Isn't it time you invest in you and start a career in networking, cybersecurity, AI, or upskill to boost your current IT career? So, get the ROI you deserve at My Computer Career. No experience necessary. Start now at mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Lower mortgage rates are here, and smart homeowners are wiping out all their credit card debt with help from Loan Pronto. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Right now, Loan Pronto has a cash-out refinance rate of just 5.49%. That's a huge drop. So you can get refinanced now, get cash out of your home's equity to wipe out all those credit cards and other high-interest loans. You can save hundreds every month with lower payments. Or if you still have a mortgage rate in the 3s, you can use Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit. Just get the cash out you need and leave your primary mortgage intact. Loan Pronto can get you $50, $75, $100, even $200,000 in just a matter of days. Bottom line, Loan Pronto's got several options to help you erase debt and take control of your finances. Call today, and you can even skip your next 2 mortgage payments. Call Loan Pronto now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1661781, 5.49%, has 6.39% APR, subject to lender approval.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It's time to talk about the Great White Buffaloes, which is a reference to the movie Hot Tub Time Machine. Great White Buffalo. Great White Buffaloes.
I was like, where have I heard this?
The Great White Buffalo in the Hot Tub Time Machine is the one that got away. But in this case, it's the one that I hope doesn't get away. This offseason, there are 2 names. I'm not sure if they're available. I'm not sure if they can actually happen, but I know that they better be explored to the fullest. T. Higgins and Brandon Ayuk are my Great White Buffaloes for this offseason for the Panthers. If there is an opening, you better do everything you can to run through it. Right? It's funny because I was talking with Dennis before the show, and I said, oh, T. Higgins, the Bengals brass at the NFL Combine, they didn't completely shoot down a trade, right? Last year when they were talking about T. Higgins at the Combine, it was like, no, we're not trading him. He's part of our future. He's our guy. This year it was like, well, we like him. We want him around. And it was just a little less door closing, a little more leaving the door ajar. And I was spitballing. I was just talking, and I included maybe you could build a trade package around the 33rd overall pick. And Dennis's response was like, well, the Panthers said the plan is maybe to trade back, but they're not trading up with that 33. Mm-hmm. And I'm going like, I get it. The plan may not be to move the 33rd pick for a player. The plan may not be to move the 33rd pick for somebody like T. Higgins. But T. Higgins and Brandon Ayuk are plan changers. They are enough to go, we didn't want to give it up, but if we could get this guy, okay. A true, bona fide, NFL-proven number 1 wide receiver is different, and it's worth the trouble. It's worth having to change your plan. Sometimes the best plans are thrown out because something better comes along. Here's why I think those 2 specifically are Great White Buffaloes. Again, Hot Tub Time Machine reference. I say that for this reason. A, they're both number 2s right now, right? Brandon Ayuk, you might say, was more productive this year. But if you look at the salary cap, if you look at how much guys are getting paid, it's Deebo Samuel who's getting paid a lot more, and that's their number 1. You might even say it's Kittle. You might even say it's CMC. Brandon Ayuk is a supplemental piece, even though he's awesome and he's one of my favorite wide receivers. T. Higgins. T. Higgins is a number 2. Jamar Chase is their number 1, so he is asked to take a back seat. But I think they've both proven enough in their time that they are ready to be a number 1 wide receiver. It's worth it for Dave Canales. It's worth it for the Panthers to make Dave Canales look successful as a play caller and a head coach. It's worth it for Bryce Young. It's worth it for the Panthers to make sure Bryce Young looks successful as a quarterback and a leader of the offense. It's worth it for the Panthers to make Brad Idzik, their offensive coordinator, look successful as an offensive coordinator. And the fact of the matter is, they could be the exact same level of people in their role. Bryce Young could be the exact same level of quarterback. Brad Idzik could be the exact same level of play caller, but he will look much better with those guys at the number one wide receiver spot than they would without. And that is very important. It is a game of narratives. It is a game of momentum. You do want to have your quarterback seen as an up-and-comer. You do want to have your coach look like an up-and-coming offensive mind, even if all else is equal, right? If you give an inexperienced play caller an all-star roster, they could be the next wonderkind. They could be the next guru, right? Because their offense is going to be, such a step up. In actuality, the roster just got better. They call the same plays, right? Bryce Young throws an off-target pass to T. Higgins. T. Higgins is a great contested catch guy. He makes the catch. Bryce Young looks better. He throws the exact same pass to DJ Chark. Doesn't look as good. Heck, he could throw an on-target pass to DJ Chark. He doesn't look as good as throwing an off-target pass to T. Higgins. Too soon? Little too soon?
Nah, you're not wrong.
Brandon Ayuk, go watch some of the clips of him running routes. He could get open in a phone booth. And he gets open quickly. Right, slants and things like that. He beats his guy on the third step. If you're Bryce Young and you don't have all day to throw, you know what helps a lot? A guy that gets open quickly, right? If he's waiting for Jonathan Mingo to get open, that offensive line might be an issue, right? He might not have the time for Mingo to get open because Mingo's still getting used to being an NFL wide receiver. If he's waiting for Brandon Ayuk to get open, ball's out of his hand in a second and a half, offensive line looks great. Those two number one wide receivers, and they're proven. They've done it in the NFL, right? It's one thing to be like, well, you could just use the 33rd pick to draft Troy Franklin out of Oregon or Ladd McConkey out of Georgia. You could get a wide receiver without having to trade it and pay a bunch of money. I'm going like, well, what you're actually doing there is drafting a guy that you hope can do those things in the NFL. I'm suggesting, yes, you have to pay a little bit more money, probably sign him to an extension, maybe give up a little bit more. But you get the proven. And right now, I think Bryce Young and Dave Canales and that offensive staff, I think they need sure things. I think they need, right, the one thing you can lean on. I talk about, I'm golf nerd, self-admitted. You need the club that you can go to that you know you hit it well, right? You need, when everything else is broken, when the driver is a military golfer, left, right, when your 3-wood can't do anything, when you have the short game yips, you always have the 6-iron, right? Like the 6-iron is your club, and when you just need to pure one, when you need to flush one, you go to the 6-iron. That offense for the Panthers needs their 6-iron, right? When Miles Sanders just dropped a pass out of the backfield, when the offensive line just got Bryce Young sacked, when DJ Chark just dropped a would-be touchdown on the 1-yard line, you need your Brandon Ayuk. You go to Brandon Ayuk to get a completion. You go to T. Higgins to flush one, right? To hit one pure. They desperately need that, and I would give up more than I plan to give up for one of those two guys. And I want to be clear, there's other lesser options on the table that I wouldn't do that for. Those two guys are special. And obviously, if like Justin Jefferson or something actually becomes available, we have those conversations, but I don't believe he's actually available. Right now, I'll tell you what's available. Our text line, where you can text keyword music, MUSIC, to 919-860-5326 for a chance to win tickets to Outlaw Music Festival with the legend, Willie Nelson and family. Bob Dylan, Robert Plant, Allison Krauss, talk about legends, and more at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on June 23rd. Again, text keyword music to 919-860-5326. That's the Outlaw Music Festival with Willie Nelson and family, Bob Dylan, Robert Plant, Allison Krauss, and more. It's a heck of a lineup. So be sure to check it out. Text keyword music to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Window Nation. I know today was a little bit warm, but the temperatures are going to drop tomorrow. But all this fluctuating weather, the one thing that you can rely on or should be able to rely on, is your windows. Again, Dennis Cox here with my friends at Window Nation. Your energy bills are at all-time highs, and as summer approaches, especially spring getting here very soon, well, your energy bills are going to go up even more because you're going to constantly have your AC running all the time. But with Window Nation windows, you can lower your energy costs and upgrade the feel of your home. Give them a call at 866-90Nation or go online, windownation.com. Right now, they're giving you 50% off all styles windows. By the way, this is just for the final week of February, just this week. 50% off all style of windows, plus an additional 10% off through the end of the month, and you put zero money down. You have zero payments and zero interest for 24 months. Take advantage of that deal. I'll say it again. 50% off all style windows, plus an additional 10% off through the end of the month, and zero down payment, zero payments, and zero interest for 24 months. Give them a call at 866-90Nation or go online, windownation.com. By the way, they can do that installation in 1 day or less. Contact them right now to get your free, no-obligation quote now. 866-90Nation or visit windownation.com to schedule.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, has the starting five coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
It's madness.
Davis, the man with a hot hand, accelerates to his right now. Step back three on Cleveland. Ring that. He cannot miss.
Total madness.
Ben Johnson, shot fake for the win. Yes, sir.
Absolute madness.
Bruce Thornton ahead. Potter at the buzzer. Got it.
The Triangle's home for college basketball's national championship. 99.9 The Fan.
When your back pain is your foot's fault, this is Dean's story.
It was affecting me when I walked, which is a kind of a common activity.
Dean's chronic back pain had become a pain in the you-know-what.
At first, I just sort of ignored it, but eventually everything catches up to you.
Physically and mentally.
Back pain affects your mood. It really does.
But that's not the only connection Dean made.
A friend of mine suggested I go to the Good Feet store. I was a little confused. Why would I need a foot store? My feet are fine.
But he thought, what the heck? He had nothing to lose.
They took impressions of my feet, and with the footprint, they were able to get me a personalized arch support that, lifted pressure off my back.
So the source of your back pain was right under your toes.
It's something maybe I should have known, but I found out in the nicest possible way.
See how arch supports work for you with a free fitting.
The Good Feet store is in Raleigh, Chapel Hill, Fayetteville, and other locations across North Carolina.
It's bow time.
Finally, lunchtime. I'm starving.
What's that?
This is the Bojangler from Bojangles.
Ooh, with the same bold flavor as their chicken?
The same.
And fries.
The same.
Huh. Well, I've got a PB&J.
Yeah, that's not the same.
A crispy fish fillet dusted in Bo's famous seasoning. With cheese and tartar sauce on a fluffy bun, the Bojangler's back. Hook one while you can. And it's bow time.
There's no time like Bojangler time. Time to stop whatever you're doing and head over to Bojangles to try the Bojangler Fish Fillet Sandwich. You heard right, the Bojangler Fish Fillet Sandwich. A perfectly seasoned, light, flaky, wild-caught Alaskan pollock fish fillet sandwich. For limited time at participating Bojangles. Make it a combo and add Bojangles seasoned fries and legendary iced tea. Hungry for Bojangles but in the mood for something different? Then it's Bojangler time.
Hey, it's me, your future you. You made bad credit card moves. Got no rewards to use. Ugh. Should've compared cards with the nerds and got the cash back you deserve. Now you have to stand to see your favorite band while your friends all got VIP wristbands. Don't make your future you hate you.
Compare and find top credit cards today with NerdWallet. NerdWallet. Finance smarter.
This is the time of year to enjoy life, isn't it? Everything's starting to bloom. Well, stop letting that pain in your joints keep you from doing what you want to do this spring. Call QC Kinetics now. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, and I'm talking about lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. Adam Gold here, and this is a fact. QC Kinetics is literally transforming lives. Their advanced treatments harness your own body's ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Pro athletes have been doing this for decades, but now this life-changing treatment is available for you. So you can walk and run and climb and play and do anything you want pain-free. No pain pills, no surgery, all natural solutions. Live your best life this spring and summer. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 919-400-5473. 919-400-5473. 4 locations: Cary, Clayton, Raleigh, and Wake Forest. QC Kinetics.
At the V Foundation, V is for victory over cancer. V is for victory over giving up.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Join our team in the fight against cancer at V.org.
This hour on the Triangle Sports Leader is brought to you by the Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
You can feel the madness!
Go to GotBrian.com. That's GotBrian.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. It's gusty showers and some storms early this evening. We have a small threat for severe weather, 35 the low overnight. And then tomorrow, partly to mostly cloudy. It is certainly cooler than today, a high at 54.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones today down 23 points to 38,949.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we get to the starting 5, I want to talk to the Canes fans for a second. If you're looking for a place to catch tomorrow's game against Columbus, the Blue Jackets, maybe if you're looking for a chance to go to a future game in person, I need to tell you to come join me at Carolina Ale House in Garner tomorrow from 7 to 9. Hang out with me, grab yourself some wings, some zingers, enjoy the food, enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy all the television coverage. And I'll be giving out 30 tickets for the March 14th Canes-Florida rematch.
Okay, let's go.
That's a game right there.
Hey, you know it.
It'll be playoff atmosphere. Canes-Florida rematch. It's a Canes ticket stop tomorrow night at Carolina Ale House in Gardner. We'll give away game tickets about every 8 minutes. So you don't win, hang around another 8 minutes. You might win another 8 minutes, another 8 minutes, another 8 minutes.
It's a lot of tickets.
A lot of tickets. It's always fun to do those.
Oh, yeah.
To do those. I get to feel very in the giving mood. So I'll be out there. Some others from the station will be out there. Check it out tomorrow. That's the Garner location of Carolina Ale House. Now, starting with number 5. Duke plays Louisville tonight. I look at this as the last game that could involve any catching of breath for the Duke Blue Devils. After this, they go UVA, NC State, UNC, ACC tournament, NCAA tournament. Bada bing, bada boom, right? Conveyor belt gets set to 30 after this game. Louisville, one of the worst teams in the ACC. So with Duke being a little banged up, Caleb Foster, Kyle Filipowski, this is your game to, I wouldn't say take your foot off the gas because you don't want to do that, but it's your last time to catch your breath. Right? It's the last moment for you to take a deep breath, kind of get yourself into a rhythm, get yourself playing well, see the ball go through the hoop a few times, and prepare for the run that you're about to go on. And that's, I don't want to say scary, but it's a little more intense for a team like Duke that's essentially gotten away playing 6 guys the last few weeks. You're going to have to expand that rotation a bit, whether you bring in Blakes, whether you bring in Stewart, whether you bring in Power. I don't know, not Power. Whether you bring in somebody else off the bench. Those are going to be the guys that kind of drive things forward for you as a team.
By the way, it does look like Filipowski is going to be playing tonight. But also, according to Adam Rowe of 24/7 Sports, quoting John Shire, saying, quote, not optimistic regarding Caleb Foster being available to play tonight against Louisville.
Not optimistic. So this is a test of everybody. Test of the guys playing. I used to say this when There was a season with the Warriors where Klay Thompson was hurt. I think Draymond Green was hurt. And Kevin Durant had just been traded away. And I was really excited to see Steph Curry kind of go, all right, I guess I'll take all the shots. And I want to see him average like 45. And then he hurt his hand like immediately. And I was like, what is going on here? I am a little excited, right, in a silver lining of a dark cloud way. Like, I'm not excited that Caleb Foster's hurt. I'm not excited that Kyle Filipowski may be at less than 100%. But I am a little excited when you might be able to look at Jared McCain and say, hey, whatever your usage is normally, double it, right? Like, hey, we might need you to carry the offense here for a bit. Hunt for your shot a little more because he's a guy that can light it up from deep. And I want to see him with a little bit more selfishness. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
We are the 4 horsemen. Woo!
Dave Canales, head coach, Carolina Panthers, spoke to the media at the NFL Combine yesterday. There's an awesome piece of audio that was grabbed by Vashti Hurt of Carolina Blitz. I wanted you to hear it, and then we'll get to reactions. Here's the audio.
So I truly believe that we should take every position on our roster after every season, and we should say, can we get better here? Or do the people that we have, or the players that we have, can they improve more from where they were at the year before, and kind of measure, like, really take a good, honest look at that, position by position, and challenge it. Challenge the roster in the draft. Challenge the roster in free agency, and I'm not afraid to say that. And that should always be true, so that we never get complacent, with the guys that we have, although we love them, although we're excited about them. And I'm still learning, the Carolina Panthers as I've been watching film. Now, I have the benefit of not having the emotional connection to a lot of these guys, so I can come in objectively and just say, that's good enough, that's not good enough. And I don't want to get into specifics about who I'm talking about in that regard, but that is my advantage right now. So I just come here with really an open mind for how to improve our roster, before I have all these relationships that I've built.
His advantage is not having an emotional connection to the players. His advantage is he doesn't know them as people. His advantage is he is going to, I guess until he gets to know him, he gets to treat this like a full video game, right? I'm cutting him like a fantasy football, right? Like, I'm putting him on waivers. He's not helping me.
It goes full on dynasty mode. GM mode.
It kind of feels like that's what he's saying. My advantage right now is I get to treat these players as if they are stats, as if they are numbers, right? That's such a ruthless yet appropriate way to handle things until you get to know him. He hasn't even really met with Bryce Young. So you darn sure know he hasn't met with, the third string tight end. He hasn't met with a linebacker on the fringe of making the roster. He's going to make that decision purely off of what you put on tape. And tape doesn't lie, right? Film don't lie. People can be persuasive. Oh, don't cut me. Give me one more. You know me. You know how hard I work. You know I'm good for it. We've been through a couple battles together. He doesn't have any of that, right? Do you know what? He's the optimistic version of like Ari Gold from Entourage, right? He's the upbeat, optimistic, ruthless, cold-blooded businessman, right? He's nice. He's got a real sunny disposition about him, and yet he is sitting there saying, my advantage over other coaches is I don't know these people. It's hard to cut people. It's hard to move on from guys that have worked hard for you for the last 5 years. I don't know these guys. What an awesomely ruthless thing to say. And as I said earlier, I don't think the Panthers as a roster necessarily deserve more than that. I don't think they deserve the benefit of the doubt. They were the worst team in the NFL last year. Point blank, period. The worst team in the NFL last year. Should anybody's job be safe? Probably not. No. Certain ones are by business, right? Like, hey, we're paying you X amount of dollars for the next however many years. Like, hey, we traded up to draft you number 1 overall. Like, certain jobs are.
Yeah.
But everybody else, ain't no loyalty around here right now. Loyalty earned? Nope. What was that, number 4?
That was number 4.
Let's get to number 3.
1, 2, 3.
Wake lost last night to Notre Dame. Wake Forest men's basketball.
Now, hold on. Let me guess. They were on the road.
They were on the road. They
Bingo,
were in
there it
South
is.
Bend, Indiana. Okay, few things. One, I quit them a while ago because they've done this to me too many times, so I'm prepared for it. I'm calloused over. I'm hardened like a crab apple. I am prepared to handle this. Secondly, this has to be mental, right? This has to be some kind of yips. It has to be. Teams, there's no way the zip code that you are playing in can affect you this much as a basketball team. Duke was the 8th ranked team in the country. Wake Forest systematically took them down to the wire and beat them in the clutch. Notre Dame, spoiler alert, not the 8th ranked team in the country. They're not even sniffing 8th ranked in the ACC. And they systematically took Wake Forest down to the wire and beat them in the clutch. How much of this, Dennis? I'll ask you this, because there are certain teams I just stop trying to diagnose and I just go, this is what they are, right? They are a team that is wildly inconsistent. But how much of this do you attribute it to being a Duke hangover? Dennis, how much of this do you attribute to this being a Duke hangover?
Yeah. 50% of it.
And then 50% is just generically being in another area code and you don't play well on the road?
I think so. I was really thinking hard on that one because, yeah, there's the Duke hangover and it's a real thing. But this is something that we've seen all season from them. So, it's hard for me to, I don't know. Maybe I'll even knock the percentage down even further. Maybe it's 33%.
Yeah. So you're saying, like, well, if they had a Duke hangover, they also had, like, a Pitt hangover.
Yeah, exactly.
However their schedule works out previously.
Right. So maybe that's it. Like,
that's
it's something they've been doing all season. So, I don't know. I was about to say, 100%. I was like, no, actually, I take that back.
That's fair. When you are that inconsistent, again, like I said, it might not be a diagnosis thing. Or you might have already gotten the diagnosis, right? Like, you are inconsistent.
It's just who they are.
Which is so frustrating. I'm not letting myself get dragged down by it again because I've quit them. I've moved on. They've done this to me too many times. But there is still part of me that watches them and goes, if they put it together for a stretch, man. If Andrew Carr knocks down threes, and if Efton Reed is shooting 80% down low, and if Hildreth and Miller and Salas can, and Monsanto off the bench, if these guys can all get hot at the right time. But the fact of the matter is, if they get hot at the right time, it'll be for one game, and then they will follow it up with a bad loss. You know what actually they're going to be perfect for?
That's how they get you.
They're going to make the NCAA tournament because they have 2 more home games, and one of them's against Clemson, and that's a big game, and that'll be another resume booster. And actually, in a weird, stupid net rankings way, their loss to Notre Dame didn't hurt them nearly as much as it probably should have in the bracketology of it all. So they're going to make the NCAA tournament. And do you know what they're going to be great for? They're going to be great for allowing a Cinderella to make the Sweet 16. Because round 1, Wake Forest is going to be great. And I don't care if they get in as an 11 seed or if they get in as a 10 seed or a 9 seed. They're going to destroy that first round matchup, right? And then they're going to go into the second round, and I don't care who they're playing in the second round. They're going to lose that game because that's what they do. They look great, and then they lose. So if they do end up playing, like, the year Cinderella, a 14 seed that makes it to the second round, you're going to want them to play Wake. You're going to want St. Peter's playing Wake in the second round because that's just going to make that story. They're going to be like, oh, perfect. They're through to the next round because Wake's about to lay an egg because they played so well last game. And the team that they beat in the first round is going to be so frustrated because they're going to go, why didn't you play like that against us? There's a, sports gambling is coming to North Carolina March 11th. I wish it would have come 2 months ago because I would have been every single time putting my own personal money on whoever Wake Forest was playing right after they looked unstoppable. because they're going to look unstoppable. They're going to win a game. The number is going to say they're a wild favorite for the next game, and I would bet against them because we know they're right at the end of every peak is a valley for them. Anything else?
No.
See, I'm able to get over it so much easier because I've already quit them. I've said so on air. 2 weeks ago, that game, that Notre Dame loss for Wake would have stuck with me for hours. Now, I talk about it. Obviously, I'm still frustrated by it, but I can move on because I've already somebody else's problem.
You've already accepted it.
That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us.
What have you already accepted about NC State's season now that they've lost to Florida State?
They are who they are.
Which is?
I don't know. That's my big thing. I know what someone explained to me what NC State basketball is this season. I can't figure them out.
This is how I look at their season. They're a team of hastily assembled, talented players that never figured out the best way for them to play.
I love the roster. I really do.
In a vacuum. Each individual player. I really like Casey Morsell. I've talked about it. I've had conversations with Casey Morsell. He's a guy that seems to get it, which is what you need in a graduate student guard who has the ball in his hands a lot. You need somebody that gets it. He gets the bigger picture. DJ Horn, I mean, I don't have to explain why you'd be excited to have him as one of your scoring guards. DJ Burns in a particular role, I think can really be a change-up, right? I think if you get used to playing against Mo Diarra and Ben Middlebrooks, and then at some point, against the second unit, you throw DJ Burns out there, he's going to be a whole wait, what happened? Why is this so different? Michael O'Connell proved that he can be a steady hand and a distributor. I like Dennis Parker Jr. He's not really playing anymore, but I was really impressed with him early in the year. Jaden Taylor off the bench, really good player. Mo Diarra, really good player. You put them all together, they haven't figured out how the puzzle piece works, right? You put them all together, they haven't quite figured out what's the best way for that group to play, and not for lack of trying. They've tried every different combination out there multiple times. Here's where I think the disconnect was. They never really gave any of their potential choices. They never really gave any of their potential answers enough time, right? It was like, let's try this. No, that's not working. Let's try this. No, that's not working. Let's try this. When in actuality, you need to give them time to figure out the little things. It might not be a big thing. It might just be a little thing making them not work. And if they figured that out, if they fixed that, it would have been time. It was almost like they were too eager to play great that they didn't give anyone, any group, any rotation enough time to play mediocre and then get to good and then get to above good and then get to great. It was very much like, are you playing great? No, how about now? No, how about now? There's a great stand-up from Kevin James called Sweat the Small Stuff. And he does this bit, and I'm not going to do the bit. I'm not going to try to, but you'll get what I'm saying. You know when you're sitting in the car and the passenger side door is unlocked? Is locked, and someone's trying to get in the passenger door, so they pull the handle, and it's locked. So you press the unlock button, but they're still pulling the handle, and you press the unlock again, and they are pulling the handle again, and it's just like, no, now, how about now? No, not, how about now? No. And you're just like, just stop pulling the handle so I can unlock it for 2 seconds. It's a hilarious bit. Again, it's Kevin James. We've all
been there.
Exactly. And you're just like, just stop pulling the handle. Click. There you go. Now open it. I feel like NC State was that person outside the passenger door going like, are we good now? No, how about now? No, how about now? No, not now. I'll change it. I'll play Burns 35 minutes. I'll play him 10 minutes. I'll play him 12 minutes. I'll play Morsell all of the minutes. I'll play DJ Horn all of the minutes. How about now? Jaden Taylor off the bench. Jaden Taylor in the starting lineup. Dennis Parker, you're playing. Dennis Parker, you're not playing. How about now? No, how about now? No. And you're sitting inside going like, would you just chill for a second? That might be the right rotation. Just stand there, and we'll see if the whole thing unlocks. Now? No? How about now? No? Oh, gosh, we're back at it. You're going to stand outside in the rain all day. Bet that's the only place in sports media you'll get that reference today. Sweat the small stuff. like a 25-year-old stand-up from Kevin James. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
The one!
This is also the only place you'll get 2 minutes of hockey from Adam Gold. Right here on 99.9 The Fan. He's talking Canes winning last night against Minnesota. Here he is.
All right, boys and girls, I've got 2 minutes for 2 goals and 2 very different seasons that got Carolina 2 points in Minnesota last night. It's all brought to us by Dysart Willis High Stakes Litigation and Defense. Let's start with the 2 goals, okay? Carolina trailing 2-1 late second period and really looking out on their feet. Minnesota dominated the frame but hadn't scored a goal in the second because they led 2-1 after 1, and then this.
Drop back for Jarvis and across. They score! Andrei Svechnikov, as Carolina was in the midst of a line change. Mr. Svechnikov with a late goal for Carolina, turning the tables and tying it at 2.
Yeah, it wasn't a great goal by Andrei Svechnikov in that he didn't get much on it, but it went in. Maybe that'll get him going. The better play there was the Seth Jarvis pass across to Svech, and for my money, Seth Jarvis was Carolina's best skater last night. But that goal got them even in a period they didn't deserve it, just like they probably didn't deserve to be 2-1 down after 1. They played much better than that in the first period. But it got them into the third period, and then, right after a power play, sometimes you don't need a stick to score a goal.
Tracked down by Natchez, he'll keep it in. Side of the net, Teravainen. Out in front, chance for Drew, the score! Drury threw it out in front, Nason crashed the net, and Carolina has taken a 3-2 lead.
Yeah, it went in off Nason's face. A face goal. How about that? The only thing better than a face goal would be a crotch goal, and I'm not sure. It's pretty similar. All right, now, the real reason why Carolina won? In goal, Pyotr Kochetkov. Let's be honest. About 2.5 months ago, we all were convinced that Carolina wasn't going anywhere with their current goaltending. Kochetkov's first 13 appearances this year, 4-6-1, 873 save percentage. That is not NHL quality. But since then, from the start in Ottawa to today, 12-4-2, a 930 save percentage, and a pair of 1-0 shutouts. And I could argue that last night's performance made a lot of difficult situations look easy.
And now Faber will get it through Middleton out in front as Kaprizov all alone. Kochetkov with his best save of the night. Down the side of the net, and Kochetkov, unbelievable reflexes to get across on that. And Rob Rossi.
Kochetkov is starting to compile a resume that screams, I'm the guy. And if that's the case, Carolina's pretty well set up for the next few years. Dysart Willis, High Stakes Litigation and Defense, dysartwillis.com.
Thank you very much, Adam. We do need to talk a bit about the goalie. We've talked so much about the pucks on net, shoot. That ended up being, I think, the difference in the game last night. But it only had the opportunity to be the game last night because Kochetkov and that side of the ice did what they do. Those stats that Adam just said are pretty mind-blowing. I need to do some research, and I'll see if I can figure it out. On, like, has a goalie ever just flipped the switch like that mid-season? Like on a career and gone, like who's the guy that had, a stretch and then carried a team to a cup or something like that, right? Where it was, it was 870 or 87% save percentage, and then all of a sudden it was 93. And who knows why or what the change was, but it ended up being that type of deal. And I know it's happened because it happens in every sport, and I know it's happened with goalies. And some go on the run and win the cup and then come back down to earth a couple of years later. It's not always a permanent change. But Kochetkov he's making a stand here to not only not make a move at the deadline, but, pencil himself into lineups for a while with the Canes, if he can keep up the play that he's been doing since that Ottawa game, which is a tall ask, but still. Pretty cool ask. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, and I have some big news for you all out there. DraftKings Sportsbook, you know who they are. They're one of America's top-rated sportsbook apps. Are going to be here soon in North Carolina, soon like March 11th. If it wasn't a leap year, it'd be here one day sooner. Doesn't really change anything. They'll be here March 11th. It won't be long until you can bet on same-game parlays, money lines, and props right here in North Carolina with DraftKings. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. They have the best features, including odds boosts, which, as it gets closer, I'll cue you in on, as well as live betting. They have social betting groups. You can bet on all kinds of sports, college basketball, hockey, you name it. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and bet on all your favorite sports once we go live. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook, coming to North Carolina on March 11th. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Subject to regulatory licensing requirements. See terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook/NC. We also need some numbers game contestants. We have Jelly Roll tickets to give away to the winner of the numbers game. It's Jelly Roll, his beautifully broken tour, PNC Arena, September 20th, with special guests Warren Zeters and Alexandra Kay. If you want to play the numbers game, if you want to win the Jelly Roll tickets, you got to call in right now. 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. Numbers game coming up next.
This is Chris Lee from WRL with a profile in Black history, presented by your locally owned and operated McDonald's. He was born Sylvester Ritter in Wadesboro in 1952, but millions of pro wrestling fans knew him better as Junkyard Dog. A graduate of Fayetteville State, Ritter joined the wrestling ranks as Big Daddy Ritter in 1976. A move to the Junkyard Dog nickname a few years later would cement his good guy status. With feuds against Ric Flair, Harley Race, and the Funks, JYD proved to be a main event draw, paving his way into Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame in 2012.
You're listening to the Financial Safari News Network.
Steve Siddall here at Coach Pete's Money Desk, along with America's Wealth Coach and best-selling author, Coach Pete D'Arruda. So, Coach, say you have an employee-sponsored retirement plan. Can you still contribute to a Roth IRA?
Yeah, the Roth IRA is a great invention, and there are ways for you to put money in even if you are taking advantage of a 401k through an employer. Matter of fact, many employers offer a Roth 401k. That's a way for you to put a after-tax dollar away for your retirement. The beauty of this is, now one of the bad things is you don't get to write that money off on your taxes at the tax time at the end of the year. But the beauty is, when it's time to take the money out, when you take it out, you don't owe taxes on any of the money you put in, and you don't owe taxes on any of the growth. So as long as you follow the rules by the IRS, the Roth is a great invention. Call right now, and my team and I will put together for you your very own Roth strategy.
Call 888-456-7577 or just text the word ZONE to 600-700. That's ZONE to 600-700.
Investment advisory services offered by Capital Financial Advisory Group, a North Carolina registered investment advisor.
Canes fans, if you're looking for a place to catch Thursday night's game against Columbus, come join us at Carolina Ale House in Garner. Tim Donnelly here. Hang out with me from 7 to 9 as we celebrate another hockey night in Carolina. While you grab some wings and zingers, I'll be giving out 30 tickets for the March 14th Canes-Florida rematch. So come on out and let's cause chaos all night long. It's a Canes ticket stop Thursday night at Carolina Ale House in Garner. You do not want to miss it.
Did you know one of the best investments you can make? It's in yourself. At My Computer Career, in just a few months, you could start your new career in the high-demand, recession-resistant field of information technology. Isn't it time you invest in you and start a career in networking, cybersecurity, AI, or upskill to boost your current IT career? So, get the ROI you deserve at My Computer Career. No experience necessary. Start now at mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
You know what happens when a smart group of medical professionals get together and commit to a technology designed to relieve your aching joints without surgery? It's called QC Kinetics.
And this guy knows the power of a solid team. Emmitt Smith, football legend and Dancing with the Stars champ.
This elite medical group, some of them orthopedic doctors, got together and said, why are we prescribing so many medications? Why are we sending so many people to surgery in droves? Let's change this.
The answer? Natural biologics, our own healing properties. And the outcome is the country's largest provider of non-surgical regenerative treatments, QC Kinetics.
Actually, the real outcome are the tens of thousands of patients who finally got their quality of life back without surgery. Thanks to QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics 919-400-5473. That's 919-400-5473. In Cary, Clayton, Raleigh, and Wake Forest. 919-400-5473.
We buy any car. Why sell your car at WeBuyAnyCar.com? Because when you trade in, you're dealing with a dealer. And sure, they're interested in a good deal. For them, not for you. Come to WeBuyAnyCar.com instead. All we do is buy cars. You get in, get out, and get paid at a fair price. So don't take chances with a trade-in. Go to WeBuyAnyCar.com for a free online valuation.
Find out how much your car's worth at We Buy Any Car.
Dauntless Transmissions has been the trusted transmission shop in Raleigh for more than 27 years. The experts at Dauntless Transmission are dauntless when it comes to caring for your vehicle. Whether that means a total transmission rebuild, complex engine or brake service, or just a routine tune-up, your vehicle will be dauntless when they're done with it. Visit DauntlessTransmissions.com. Dauntless Transmissions, your local source for exceptional service.
Dauntless is currently looking for skilled auto technicians to join the Dauntless team. Visit DauntlessTransmissions.com/careers to apply.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It's time to play the numbers game. On the line today. Jelly Roll tickets, bringing his beautifully broken tour to PNC Arena on September 20th with special guests Warren Zeters and Alexandra Kay. Canes fans out there, if you're looking for a place to catch tomorrow's game against Columbus, maybe get the opportunity to go to a future game in person, come join me at Carolina Ale House in Garner. Hang out with me from 7 to 9, and while you grab your wings and zingers, I'll be giving out 30 tickets for the March 14th Canes-Florida rematch. That's a pretty big game. It's a Canes ticket stop Thursday night, Carolina Ale House in Garner. We have Tanner in Lewisburg and David in Bahama on the line, and we're going to build off of, going to a sports bar to watch a game for our question to see who goes first. Tanner in Lewisburg, you're watching a hockey game. What's your go-to appetizer to have in front of you that you can pick out while you watch a game?
Got to be them wings.
Wings. I need more specific. What's the flavor, the heat? What are we looking at?
I'll go with I separate the lemon pepper and the habanero, mango habanero.
All right. And are we ranch? Are we blue cheese?
Blue cheese, absolutely.
All right. There you go. Tanner, your entry is locked and loaded. We'll see what David goes with. David, you're watching a hockey game. What's the appetizer in front of you?
I got to go with pizza and cold beer.
I didn't make any stipulations on if a drink would be required, but that just – maybe it's a delivery thing.
What kind of beer are we talking here?
I don't know if it matters. I like the delivery from David. Just the cold beer, the way he said it. David, you get to go first.
Both great answers.
Both great answers. You really couldn't go wrong. That's a lie. You could have gone wrong. Both of you went right, though. The categories that you get to choose from, David, NFL, tailor-made, all players with the last name Taylor. NFL, Big P Energy, all players whose last name starts with P. NBA under 35, all jerseys 35 or less, and NHL Canes and Whalers only. Which do you want to go with?
Well, nobody's attacked it, so let's try the NFL tailor-made.
NFL tailor-made. All right. It's been waiting for you. The way this works, I'll give you the team and the player. You give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. You do have one pass if you choose to use it. Any last-second questions?
No, I'm good.
All right. Your time will get started when you hear the horn. Lawrence Taylor, New York Giants.
56.
Correct. Jonathan Taylor, Indianapolis Colts.
23.
Incorrect. Jason Taylor, Miami Dolphins.
81.
Incorrect. Jonathan Taylor, Indianapolis Colts.
32.
Incorrect. Jason Taylor, Miami Dolphins.
Pass.
Tyrod Taylor, Buffalo Bills.
2.
Incorrect. Jonathan Taylor, Indianapolis Colts.
21.
Incorrect. Jason Taylor, Miami Dolphins.
18.
I think if I kept giving you Jonathan Taylor, you would have got there eventually. You were dancing around it. Jonathan Taylor with the Colts wears 28, which you guessed 23. You just had to kind of connect the circles on the other side of the three. Jason Taylor with the Dolphins, he's a Hall of Famer, wore number 99. And Tyrod Taylor with the Bills wore number 5, same number he wore in college at Virginia Tech. You did get Lawrence Taylor, though, so your buddies can't get on you too bad because you got number 56 with the Giants. We'll see if it holds up. A tie does go to you by way of going first. So sit on the line. We'll see if it works out. Tanner in Lewisburg, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I'm sorry, I can't call you sir. Let's go.
I appreciate you for listening. For that reason, I can't do anything to help you out in the game, but I'm rooting for you. NFL Big P Energy is a category, or NBA under 35, or NHL Canes and Whalers only.
Let's do that Big P.
All right. All of these last names begin with the letter P. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number. 30 seconds on the clock. You do have one pass. Any last-second questions?
No.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Julius Peppers, Carolina Panthers.
90.
Correct. Joey Porter, Pittsburgh Steelers.
91.
Incorrect. Micah Parsons, Dallas Cowboys.
90.
Incorrect. Joey Porter, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pass.
Kyle Pitts, Atlanta Falcons.
85.
Incorrect. Micah Parsons, Dallas Cowboys.
7.
Incorrect. Kyle Pitts, Atlanta Falcons. That was a tough one. I was pulling for you because you remembered what I said on the previous show. But Julius Peppers you did get, which is a good one to get, going into the Hall of Fame, Panther, UNC, all that. Joey Porter with Pittsburgh Steelers wore double nickels, 55. Micah Parsons, Dallas Cowboys, wore snake eyes, double ones, 11. And Kyle Pitts with the Falcons wears number 8. Unfortunately, a tie goes to whoever goes first. So you're not the winner, but hopefully you had some fun playing.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate you. David in Bahama, you are the winner. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You have some Jelly Roll tickets coming your way. Are you a fan?
Yeah, I love your show, too.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Sit on the line, and Dennis will make sure you get your tickets, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. How about that? You know what? I feel bad when both, because we do the whole like question, then we pick which answer we like best to go first. I feel bad when both give good answers and then there's a tie, because then just my kind of instinct, my gut feeling ends up choosing who wins or not, right? Because you don't deserve to lose because you said wings are going to be in front of you while watching a game. And that's a great answer. Matter of fact, that's probably my answer. But the other guy said pizza and beer, and the delivery struck me. It's tough. But we will play again tomorrow. We will have more Jelly Roll tickets. We will encourage all of you to play tomorrow about the same time, about 5:30. Also, Julius Peppers, Panthers, right? That's the transition to our next topic. A lot of talk online about the Panthers upping their ticket prices. On an average of 4%, their ticket prices have gone up. Some have gone up a whole bunch. And people on social media, never shy about not wanting to pay more money. We're pretty incensed with this one. It is a funny deal because, if you're smart, you try to work it out so you're only upping ticket sales after successful seasons. So you're like, hey, last year was so great. We put together such a good product. It was so entertaining. The games were so high stakes. Could you pay 4% more? And everyone's like, I'd pay 10% more.
Hey, keep winning like that, sure.
And then there's a season where you win 2 games. You have 0 snaps in the fourth quarter where you're ahead because both your wins came on game-winning field goals as time expired. Mm-hmm. You finish last. You don't have the number 1 overall pick that you earned by finishing last. And you're still asking for 4%. I get the bad optics of it. But I also took a couple business classes in college before I decided I did not want to be a business major.
All right.
And I do know that it's the reason why you up price isn't necessarily because your product is better. It's because there's more demand. Now you try to create more demand by making your product better, but supply and demand has a bunch of different factors going into it. So if a bunch of people want to go to your games, whether you're good, bad, or not, they're still looking for season tickets. If they're still doing that, prices are going to go up.
Did see a lot of empty seats at games this season, though.
Yeah, but where they bought.
Good point.
That's a full stadium is less important to the business side of the team than a fully paid for stadium. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If every ticket is bought and people pay the money and then leave early, pay the money and don't show up. Because, right, season ticket, you might, hey, I tried to sell it. I tried to give it away. Nobody wanted to go see the worst team in the NFL. But, yeah, we'll pay and go again next year in case they're good. We've had the tickets since 2006, and we don't want to give them up. The NFL is king, and they know they can pretty much charge us whatever we want. Just like the same thing happens, right? Like, the cable streaming or, I know I have buddies that are, like, addicted to Red Zone, NFL Red Zone. And the price goes up, and guess what they do?
Keep paying it.
Oh, man, why? That's not cool. Where do I put my credit card? Like, that's the only way they handle it. Oh, darn, they're raising it again. Jeez. Where do I put my credit card information? All right, yeah, I'm definitely going to pay it, but I'm not going to be happy about it. If that's how you pay for more money for Canes or for Panthers games, they won't feel bad about it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan.
By the way, real quick, they have 9 home games scheduled this upcoming year. You have the Dallas Cowboys.
Are any of them going to be in Germany or anything like that?
Well, I think one of these is going to be in Germany, but still, nonetheless, obviously they have the divisional games with Atlanta, New Orleans, and Tampa, but the Giants, the Cowboys, the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Cardinals, and Bengals all at home.
Maybe that's why they're boosting.
Maybe that's the reason why. Let's be honest.
Because they want to charge all the Chiefs fans more. That's what it should be. If you walk in wearing the other team's jersey, you have to pay like $100. You have a premium for coming there as an away player or away fan. That's what it should be. Then they'd all wear their Panthers gear in and then take it off to reveal their Bengals gear. You wear a Joe Burrow jersey, another $200.
If you want to catch what fan they are, take a look at the shoes that they're wearing, because that's a great way to show off your fandom. Dennis Cox here with my friends at Capital Buy Sell Trade. Yeah, we wear jerseys, hats, shirts, scarves, you name it, all for our favorite teams, college, pro football, pro hockey, you name it. We show off that fandom. But another way to show it off, it's with your feet, because you get the shoes that match the fandom, the shoes that match the shirt and everything. It just pops it off even more. And that's why I go to Capital Buy Sell Trade, because of the wide array of options that they have over there, from sneakers to vintage to streetwear, you name it. They got something there for you. Heck, you want to talk about showing off your fandom? They got vintage T-shirts of like classic championship games or championship teams from the NBA, college basketball stuff, you name it. They got a bunch of that kind of stuff. So it's more than just shoes, but it's also a place that I know that I go to. When I walk in, I trust what I'm going to buy there. That's the thing. That's the reason that I keep going back. I trust the guys because it's locally owned, it's locally operated, and it's locally run, and it's built from the ground up right here in Raleigh from guys that are actually from here, went to college in the area, love sports in the area. Capital Buy Sell Trade. They're located on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Let them know that Dennis sent you.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, looks to the Duke game tonight versus Louisville. ACC basketball on a Wednesday. We'll talk about it coming up.
Did you know one of the best investments you can make? It's in yourself. At My Computer Career, in just a few months, you could start your new career in the high-demand, recession-resistant field of information technology. Isn't it time you invest in you and start a career in networking, cybersecurity, AI, or upskill to boost your current IT career? So, get the ROI you deserve at My Computer Career. No experience necessary. Start now at mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Direct Auto Insurance is for uncompromisers, like people who want a low down payment on state minimum coverage. Take Bailey. When her old car insurance got too expensive, do you think she started using a tandem bike for school drop-offs? No, she found Direct Auto and started saving. And you can too. Get a free quote at directauto.com or find a store near you. Direct Auto. Stop compromising. Keep driving. Terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos. Fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Now Spectrum is offering free VIP same-day installation. Get Spectrum Internet with speeds up to 1 gig and a 2-year price guarantee, plus a $100 Visa Rewards card. Don't miss this limited-time offer. Call 844-569-0429 by 6 p.m. and get free VIP installation as soon as tonight. Installation must be completed same day or next day to qualify for free install. Go to SpectrumFreeInstall.com for full details. Restrictions apply.
Here at Total Wine & More, you'll find what you love and love what you find.
I really like this Cabernet, but what's something new?
You will love this one.
Wow! You're good.
Find what you love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Pickup and delivery available at TotalWine.com. Drink responsibly. B21.
Hey, it's me, your future you. You made bad credit card moves. Got no rewards to use. Ugh. Should've compared cards with the nerds and got the cash back you deserve. Now you have to stand to see your favorite band while your friends all got VIP wristbands. Don't make your future you hate you.
Compare and find top credit cards today with NerdWallet. NerdWallet. Finance smart.
Hey, it's Victoria here to tell you BetMGM is coming soon to North Carolina. Sports fans in the Tar Heel State will soon be able to bet on their favorite teams, players, and matchups. With the king of sportsbooks, you'll have access to a betting app that was designed for game day. BetMGM will come stacked with live bets, same-game parlays, signature bets, exclusive player props, and so much more. It's the Vegas sports betting experience right at your fingertips. And with BetMGM, you'll earn MGM reward points for every single wager you place. Points that can be enjoyed on hotel stays, dining, and entertainment at MGM resorts nationwide. How about special offers and daily promotions? You bet the king of sportsbooks is heading to North Carolina soon with its full lineup. Everything a sports fan could want all in one app. Get ready for BetMGM. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only, North Carolina only. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
It's bow time.
Finally, lunchtime. I'm starving.
What's that?
This is the Bojangler from Bojangles.
Ooh, with the same bold flavor as their chicken?
The same.
And fries.
The same.
Huh. Well, I've got a PB&J.
Yeah, that's not the same.
A crispy fish fillet dusted in Bo's famous seasoning. With cheese and tartar sauce on a fluffy bun, the Bojangler's back. Hook one while you can. It's bow time.
There's no time like Bojangler time. Time to stop whatever you're doing and head over to Bojangles to try the Bojangler Fish Fillet Sandwich. You heard right, the Bojangler Fish Fillet Sandwich. A perfectly seasoned, light, flaky, wild-caught Alaskan pollock fish fillet sandwich. For limited time at participating Bojangles. Make it a combo and add Bojangles seasoned fries and legendary iced tea. Hungry for Bojangles but in the mood for something different? Then it's Bojangler time.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Life is too short to live with foot, knee, or back pain. Schedule an appointment for help at goodfeet.com. That's goodfeet.com. Duke versus Louisville tonight. The last tune-up of the season for Duke. And it's coming at a necessary time. The Duke basketball staff, what was the term? Not optimistic on Caleb Foster suiting up. And I think it's actually for their 2-game homestand, not even just tonight. They're not optimistic about him being ready. And it feels like, you know what? He's so important to the team that you want him full for ACC play. They might have to go without him until, as long as they can. Which doesn't feel as bad for like, hey, have him sit out the Louisville game because Louisville's near the bottom of the conference. Feels worse for, hey, sit out the UVA game. Feels worse for, hey, sit out the NC State next, which you may not be afraid of when you look at their recent win-loss record, but you start getting cross town and you throw the records out. And then obviously the season ends with Duke UNC and Cameron, and that's going to be a whole thing. So this is one of those games where it's like, Kyle Filipowski is expected to play. It appears as if he avoided a serious injury from the court storming incident at Wake Forest. But if you can get him a few less minutes, right? If you can find a way to let him rest a little bit and make sure he's 100% for the stretch run, I think you do it, right? And I don't think there's going to be those options very often from this point forward. If you look at the rest of Duke's season, UVA, NC State, UNC, ACC tourney, NCAA tourney.
Yeah, not a lot of let off there.
That is go time, right? It is you ramp up the treadmill to 30, and now you're just sprinting. And now you're just running, right?
On an incline, too.
On an incline. Get those calves working.
Right.
Everybody likes good calves.
You're telling me.
Little calf raise. So tonight is important in that it's a time to get ready for that run. Right? It's I've actually just had this conversation. Paul, who hosts Next Up every morning, 9 to 10, right here on 99.9 The Fan, every weekday morning. He legitimately has run marathons, not like
multiple.
Yeah, not like he wanted to cross it off the bucket list, so he did it that one time. Like he has run, I think 5 marathons or something like that, which is he might as well have said I've walked on the moon to me.
5 more than I'll ever.
But I was talking with him like I feel like I can use marathons as an analogy for a lot of things, but I actually don't know what any of that's like. The longest I've ever run in my life is like a 5K for charity, and that's 3.1 or something like that miles.
You're like maybe a 7-step drop back. That's about it.
Exactly. My GPS numbers were not high, but. Matter of fact, we when I was in college was the first time we didn't track miles per hour and all of that, but they could just track distance. And our coach during spring ball actually had a number that if the quarterbacks didn't reach, we had to stay after and run gassers just to get to the bare minimum of activity level. Ooh. Because receivers would be checking in with I ran 5 miles today. We'd be like, we almost ran a lap. we didn't run at all. So if we didn't hit a certain minimum, we had to run gassers. Or if we didn't travel a certain minimum distance. So during water breaks and stuff, the quarterbacks would just run in or walk in 20-yard squares, just trying to get more distance in so we wouldn't have to run after the game.
Game the system.
So I am not a distance guy. But I do imagine that when you're getting ready for a marathon, the day of the marathon, the hay is kind of already in the barn, right? You either prepared, you either got in shape, you either ate the carbs the night before, you either did all of the work to get ready to have a successful marathon, or you didn't do those things, and it's going to stink a little extra for you, right? You're going to be a little bit more sore. It's going to hurt a little bit more. You're going to be a little bit more tired, and it's a prep thing. And I kind of look at the postseason run through college basketball the same way, right? Either you got your team ready, you went through the trials and tribulations, you took the time to get healthy, you were right, you held your star players out of the games that you could hold them out of to make sure they're healthy enough for that stretch run. And either you did it correctly and you hit the ACC tournament and you're peaking and you're playing well and you know your roles and your guys are shooting it well and you used all the practice appropriately, or you didn't. And then the postseason's going to stink a little extra for you. And you're going to have to work a little harder and you're going to have to get a little luckier and you're going to have to get a few calls breaking your way or else you're not going to win. Duke is a team that has high expectations simply by wearing that jersey. So those 5 to 6 guys in their rotation, 6 to 7 guys in their rotation are preparing for a long run. One might call it a marathon, a 26-mile run. And at a certain point, the hay is in the barn. They've either prepped enough to have success in the postseason or they haven't. And tonight is kind of the last one where it's get a practice run in, right? Because the actual race starts next game.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free. No credit cards, no car loan, no personal loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox, my friends over at Loan Pronto. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, you have value in your home, and your home value is way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money out for a home improvement project. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, is starting to wrap up, but one last reminder for the day. If you're looking for a place to watch tomorrow night's Canes game, I will be out at the Carolina Ale House in Gardner for a ticket stop, which means I'll be giving away 30 tickets for the March 14th Canes-Florida rematch. I mean, that's about as good as a game as you could choose. So, Ale House, Gardner, Carolina Ale House in Gardner tomorrow, 7 to 9. Be there for a chance to win some free tickets. I have a whole bunch of them to give away. I'll be there. We can chat as well. Overdrive coming up next here on 99.9 The Fan. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 for more of The Drive. Have a great night.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and do you have a late